Morning, everyone. My name is T. Prasad. I'm your alternate special master for the day. Going by the agenda set by the county, we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you will stand and join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good morning. If any person decides to appeal any decision made by the Code Compliance Special Master with respect to any matter considered at this public hearing, he or she will need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record shall include the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based.
I'm assuming for the minutes,
The minutes for August will be approved at the October hearing.
okay, fantastic, thank you. And we're going to be skipping the staff update, I'm assuming.
Abated and continued cases are listed out front.
Good morning again. My name is T. Prasad. I'm a licensed Florida attorney, acting as what's called a Code Compliance Special Master. It's a fancy title created by law, but all it means is that the county hired me to preside over your hearing today. When your case is called, please come forward and you will be placed under oath. If you are appearing at a hearing like this for the first time, the county will state the alleged violation and present its case. You will then have an opportunity to present your case regarding the violation, which may include evidence if you wish. During the process, the county attorney's office or myself may have questions of the parties, witness, or staff. I will ask if there are any members of the public who wish to speak, and if there are, such members of the public will have the opportunity to speak in the respective case. Such right to speak is not unlimited, and public comment should be focused on the case and made as succinctly as possible. This is not an appropriate forum for insults. In most instances, if you're found guilty of a violation, the law requires you to be given time to comply before a fine begins. You must abate the violation by that date, that is, fix the violation, or the fine will accrue for each day you remain in violation. The law then allows Citrus County to impose the fine as a lien on all real and personal property you own, and the county may foreclose on the lien or seek money judgment against you after the lien has been recorded for 3 months. This is important because I may not give you another date to appear before me, and therefore you're likely will not have another opportunity to plead your case or to explain why you don't comply with the county code. The county will continue filing liens against your property until you notify the county of your compliance. In all cases in which I find someone guilty of a violation, I will impose all costs required by county ordinance or regulations. If you abate or fix the violation in the time allotted, the costs will remain minimal. If you do not timely fix the violation, you will be responsible for additional costs, as well as the cost of the lien imposed. If I find you guilty of the violation and allow for a continuance of your case, you will be required to return on a certain date. In the time between hearings, I will require that you comply with the county and its codes in order to consider the violation resolved. If your violation is not resolved by the next date, I may impose a fine for each and every day of the violation from today's date forward. Your failure to return on the date may be deemed evidence of your failure to cooperate with the county. If you're here today for an appeal, and I don't think there's any appeal today.
No, sir.
So I'll just skip over that. You have the right to appeal any order I make today, as may be provided by law. Thank you. Call the first case.
First case is on today's agenda. Natalia Unlimited Investments LLC, case numbers 2023-407, 2023-448, 2023-449, pages 20, 21, and 22 of your agenda. Code Officer Julie Wilkinson.
Mr. Cerna?
Good morning.
Mr. Cerna? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Margarita de Serna,
How do
Thank you.
How do you spell your name?
Margarita. The last name is DE Serna. I'm the owner of Natalia Unlimited Investments.
Thank you. One of you read.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, of case number 2300407, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Case number 23-00448, abandoned, unserviceable, and unlicensed vehicles, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 4, Section 20-41 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. And case number 23-00449, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-60 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 7225 South Elsie Point, Lecanto, Florida. Property owners, Natalia Unlimited Investments, LLC. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on July 14th, 2023. Photos from a corrective action inspection on July 31st, 2023. And photos from my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notices of violation, a copy of the notices of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
Ms. De Serna?
Serna.
Ms. Serna, can you please take a minute and review those and let me know if you have any objections to those being admitted?
No, they are right.
Please, did you look at all of them?
I have been in the property from the outside because
Okay.
I'm not allowed to enter at the property because it's rented.
Okay.
And I'm in the process of evicting people. And I spoke with the officer on the phone, and I explained to her that I was not aware what was behind the house because I'm not allowed to get there. I'm in the process of eviction of the tenant. He haven't paid me for 6 months and have been really a bad situation for me. But now they said that they are empty the property.
So you don't have any objections to those exhibits?
No, this is right.
Okay,
I mean, that
thank
is
you.
absolutely as it is right now.
Well, then they'll be admitted without objection as Exhibit A and B. Thank you. Is there anything else?
On July 14th, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed discarded furniture, auto parts, loose trash, miscellaneous junk and debris, as well as multiple unlicensed vehicles, and the lawn was in excess of 18 inches. On July 14th, a notice of violation was issued for accumulation of junk and debris, abandoned, unserviceable, and unlicensed vehicles, and excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, which are violations of the ordinances listed above. On July 31st, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that the property remained in violation and no effort has been made towards abatement. Unlicensed vehicles remain on the property along with the junk, and the lawn has not been cut. I have had contact with the property owner who stated that she is going through the eviction process with the current occupants, and that's why nothing has been cleaned up. However, no case number for the eviction has been received. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, the property remains in violation.
Thank you. Ms. Seren, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I would like to see what can I do in that case because I cannot get into the property, so I cannot take action in that. And I wonder if you can give me some time. They said that they will leave the property for October 15. That's what they said, but I don't believe them because since I received the first violation, they said that they will leave in August, then they said September. So I'm waiting. I don't know how long is the eviction process in case that I need to go through that. And but I'll definitely will correct the issues. It's no question about.
Have you hired a lawyer?
I have seen different ones, but the problem is that I live out of my Social Security, and that's my complement income, that rent. I haven't received that rent for 6 months. So they asked me for a certain amount of money. I'm close to get that amount. So that's why I haven't started the process yet.
Okay. Did you go to the courthouse and try to do it yourself?
Can you do it? I don't know if you can do it.
So you did not go to the courthouse?
No, I saw an attorney, but I didn't know
Okay.
that you can do it yourself.
How much time do you need?
Is that possible, like 2-3 months, so I can, in case that I need to go through the eviction? I'm interested because my priority is rent that house as soon as possible. So definitely I need to correct all those issues before renting it out again because I need to start to get that income again.
Okay. Is there anything from the county? Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
My recommendation,
Yes.
the Citrus County
Can we see if anybody from the public would like to speak?
Oh, is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this? Oh, thank you, sir. Ma'am, if you can come up and raise your hand to be sworn in.
One at a time? Just one person first? Julie, maybe? Yeah. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you please state your name?
Donna Baker?
Donna?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I live directly across the street from this property. The tenants have not been there in over a month. They occasionally come back maybe one day on the weekend, but no one has lived there in well over a month. Since they have vacated the property, I have rats chewing through my floor. We have killed 2 rats within my house in the last month. Something needs done quickly because it's just the rats are starting to scatter and they're invading our homes now. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to speak?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your name, please?
William Dobbs.
Thank you.
How do you spell your last name, sir?
Dobbs, D-O-B-B-S.
Thank you.
I also live on Elsie Point. We had a get-together at their house the other night, or the other day.
Whose house?
At Donna and Bryce. And the flies that came from that house completely destroyed what we were trying to do, just get together as neighbors and have a good time. It's all coming from that junk pile. I haven't seen it, but I heard that they have 2 years worth of garbage out back. I don't know how long it's been. But I did go to work every day. I'm now semi-retired, but I never saw a garbage can out there. I've lived there for 5-6 years. I thought they were taking it to the dump like I was. My concern is we are all on wells. I don't know whose well is what, but I have tried to find out how deep my own well is. They can't tell me. There's no records. All they can tell me is on Elsie Point, they're 35 feet to 179 feet. 35 feet isn't real deep. Whatever's been leaching into the ground from that garbage pile needs to also be taken out and taken to a dump site. so that they don't destroy the water in the area. That's all I really wanted to say.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Please.
Good morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you
Thank you.
please state your name?
Kathleen Wicks,
Can you spell
excuse
the
me,
last
also a neighbor. Wicks, W-I-C-K-S.
Like John Wicks?
name?
Kathleen. Excuse me. I also wanted to mention there's some barrels. We don't know what's in the barrels out on the driveway. I think there's like 4 of them. There's also a lot of old auto parts laying around too. So to the gentleman's comments earlier about the concerns for the well, I'm also on a well and have a great deal of concerns there. I'm also concerned about the rodents because they're no longer being fed at that particular location. They're gonna start spreading out. And that's not just the rats, but also the roaches and other things. So my concern is that the longer it sits, the more this kind of vermin is gonna spread out across the neighborhood and cause health issues. I have a horse, my neighbors have horses, some of my neighbors have chickens. None of us want to deal with that kind of outspread. And it's also a eyesore. It's a huge eyesore for people coming down the road to see that. So just wanted to add those comments there. And I also have seen a huge increase in flies around my horse as well. So, thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That works.
Oh,
Oh, now I'm
thank
on
you.
stage.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your name, please?
Katrina Dobbs.
Thank you.
I also live on South Elsie Point.
Are you related to Mr. Dobbs?
Yes, that's my husband.
Okay.
I know that the realtor said she wants to rent the place out. It is not livable. The trailer actually needs to be removed along with all of the garbage that is behind the trailer. I used to go over there because they had animals. We have rescued animals from there that were malnourished. I know that they left some animals just to fend for themselves, the tenants. I know they no longer live there because they told me they have moved. They sent text message saying, we have moved. We have a few things left there. We need to go pick up. Our truck is broke down. I just got to load the rest up in the Jeep. They said they bought a property. They no longer live at that residence.
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
The previous tenant sent me a text saying they no longer live there. They bought a home and that they just have a few things left in the home in the trailer that they need to get out. And that their truck is broke down, so they're having to make small trips with their Jeep. And so they are no longer living on the premises, but that trailer is not rentable. It's not livable. It needs to be removed along with all of the junk. And I've never seen we have the chickens, and I have never seen so many flies in my house. And we're starting to get more rodents. It's too much. They were throwing all their garbage out back, so the rats had something to eat. Now they're just, they're scattering. And they're coming onto our property, and it's just, we're getting overloaded with them. And they left cats, and we have those cats on our property as well now.
Yeah. Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
So what is the number that they text you from?
She actually texted me through Facebook.
Oh, you don't have their phone number?
I do have their phone number as well.
Okay,
It is 352-364-1631. And that is Joyce, and Mike is the husband that lived there. I do not know their last names. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can find it on Facebook.
you have their number, so obviously you talk to them?
I took some animal, we bought some animals rescue from them, and we bought some goats and
Did they ever tell you why they left all the junk there and they kept the place the way they did?
No,
Okay.
no, but they said they had no air conditioning, no heat. So like I said, that place is not livable.
Okay. Have you ever been inside of the home?
No, but I have seen the property, the way they kept the animals they were all malnourished. We used to have to call animal control very regularly.
Okay. But
Very
you've never,
rare.
but you've never been inside of the
Not
property?
inside that
Okay.
house, just outside.
All right, thanks. Is there anything else?
Nope.
Is there anyone else? Come on up, sir.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your name, please.
Ryle Baker.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Ryle,
How do you spell that?
Ryall.
Baker, like in the baker?
Yes, the third.
The third.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please, whenever you're ready.
Okay, pretty much most of everything that everybody else said is correct.
Are you a neighbor as well?
Yes, I live across the street. And I used to go over there frequent. And then the inside of the house was not clean. And the husband told me that he's not cleaning it because she's not. I said, well, who cares? You know,
When you
can't-
say she's not, what do you mean?
his wife.
Oh.
And well, and that's that. But and the trash. Okay, I went over there just to check out the place, and the trash and garbage out there. It's a pile, like a small dump truck dumped it. That's how much there, and all the rest of the stuff. But it's pretty well trashed, and that's about it.
All right, thanks. Is there anyone else?
May I say something?
I was just getting to you. And before you do you have any questions for any of these witnesses?
No, they are absolutely right, and I
Okay.
understand their frustration because being in their situation, I will be exactly the same. I had a text from today. That's why I went and grabbed my phone that I can show you from Joyce.
What's the number that she texted you from?
352-364-1631.
Okay, thanks.
I can show you the text that I got even at 7:30 this morning
Why
because
don't you just read it for me?
okay, that says, sorry, just saw you this message. We are still getting stuff out. Sorry for the delay, having issues with the truck. If you can give me any order to oversee so I don't have to go to the eviction process, that will be even better for me. I don't have to spend that money and I will fix the property. I mean, I'll clean and they are absolutely right, the neighbors, and I apologize to all of them. I was not aware of all the things, the hardship that was causing on them, and it's never my intention to do any harm for my neighbors because I believe that neighbors is like, you know, like you spend more time with them than with your own family, actually. I never live in the house. I'm gonna fix the house. I don't know how bad it is, the house, because I haven't been there in almost, these people were living there for maybe 5-6 years, I believe. So it's hard for me to know what is the condition of the house, but once I'm allowed to enter, so if you give me an order that I need to comply, I'll, you know, I don't know how the law works or how should I do it, but like I said, it's my intention to fix it and to clean and correct all the problems.
Okay, anything else? Yes, sir?
Can I ask her a question?
Sure,
Can we have your phone number? You will know the next time.
sure. I'll be more than happy to share it with you guys.
Or why don't you do that after we're done?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to say anything?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And your name, please.
All I can do,
What
I'm a
is your name, sir?
neighbor
What is your,
also,
what is your name, sir?
Bill Schmeiser,
Can you spell-
SCHMEISSER,
Spell that last name one more time.
SCHMEISSER.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
And I just wanted to attest to the increase in flies. We've had rats by our house also on Kitty Corner, across the street to the property. It's an eyesore. You know, I don't know how to say that. As the owner, I'm just surprised that it's been a dump for years. And so I can't believe for the number of years that there's been furniture out in the rain piled up, you know, garbage in the front yard, abandoned cars. They had pigs, which probably is within the ordinance of Citrus County, but, you know, there's an associated stench to, the pigsty, which is visible from the road there. And so my apologies. Just want to attest to that. The place is a definite eyesore, a hazard as far as flies. It's terrible. And I'm surprised something hasn't been done sooner. And I would say in the future, it'd be nice if she looked in on it once in a while, because even driving by it, it's just a dump. And thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, ma'am,
Yeah, I would like to add, I don't live here anymore.
where do you live?
I live in sometimes Miami and sometimes High Springs because, like I said, I have retired already and I'm traveling all the time. But like you can see, the complaints are against the tenants, that the ones that are causing all those problems are the tenants, that for my own interest, I want them out of there for sure. So I don't know if you can give me, like I said, any order to go, oversee the lease, and I'll fix it.
Right,
if-
anything else?
If I have to go to the eviction process, I will need time. I mean, I understand their concern, but I need time because you know that takes time.
Is there anything else?
No.
Whenever you're ready, ma'am.
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $100 per day, along with the administrative costs, to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally define that it is the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Remind me again, when was the first notice on this?
On July 14th.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, from July 14th, when you got did you get the first notice?
No, I got the second one,
Okay.
which I believe was in August.
It said it was July 31st, is that
Yeah,
correct?
that one. Probably that was the one that I got. And I contacted them and they said that they were leaving, like I said before.
Okay. And you
But they didn't.
And
But-
did you contact the county?
Yes, I did. I called.
Okay. And tell me what happened.
I said that I was going to follow through and see and explain that they were leaving. But I was going to do an eviction if they didn't leave.
Did you drive up to the property, go take a look at it or do
No,
anything?
I was not in town.
So you had no idea what the condition of the property
No,
was?
I just did it last week, I believe, that I was here.
Okay.
And I drove and I saw when you showed me the pictures, I know that is exactly how it's looking. So
Okay.
I knew it.
All right, thanks. Anything else? Yes, please.
Your $100 day fine, is that for all three or $100 per each fine?
For each case, yes,
Okay. So it's $100 a day
for each,
individual?
yeah, yes.
All right. All right, let's start off with case number 202-300-448. Based on the testimony received and the admission of the homeowner, I find that there's a violation. And I'm going to adopt the county's recommendation of $100 a day fine plus administrative costs. I'm only going to give you 30 days to abate this because I don't think it's fair for your neighbors to have to go through and deal with these issues on such a prolonged basis. When you own the property, whether you reside there or you're a landlord or it's just vacant, you do have some responsibilities. I understand that you're retired and you're traveling and you're doing those things. But when you own that property, you have to accept some responsibility for it. And that responsibility is not only to the county, but particularly to your neighbors. And when your failure to do that, whether it's rented or not, causes direct harm to your neighbors, then you've got to realize that something has to be done, and you need to do it quickly. And when you received the first notice on July 31st, when that was sent out, at a minimum, some action should have been taken besides just relying upon the tenants who caused the problem to begin with. Again, I can't imagine that you would feel comfortable living next to a property like this, and if rats were coming onto your property and flies were coming onto your property and stray cats were coming onto your property, and there was an odor coming from the neighbor's property onto yours, and you're coming outside and you're smelling that every day, I think you have to have some empathy for the people who are around you. And you're asking them for empathy today because you're the landlord, but you're not living there. And so, unfortunately, you're in that position. You say it's the tenant's fault. The neighbors say, well, you should have been a little bit more proactive. In all fairness, based on what your neighbors are saying today, I think their position is extremely reasonable. And so I'll give you the 30 days on that. Going over to case number 202-300-407. I'm going to adopt the same findings of fact for the previous case. And I'm going to grant the county's recommendations as well and give you 30 days on the abatement of that as well. And regarding case number 202-300-449, I will also adopt the finding of facts for the first case ending in 448 and adopt the county's recommendations of $100 a day in fine plus administrative costs and abate that for 30 days. I would urge you to give this some degree of seriousness and push forward, whatever that takes. I think your neighbors deserve some sort of relief for what they've been dealing with so far. All right, thank you.
Can I ask you something?
Yes,
If I
please, go
need
ahead.
to start an eviction process, so we'll take care in a month? I don't
Ma'am,
know.
you're gonna need to talk to a lawyer, and you're gonna sort of figure that out. You're a business owner, you're a property owner. That does come with some responsibilities, not just the benefits. Okay? Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Next cases on today's agenda. Michael E. Hightower Jr. and Olivia M. Hightower, case numbers 2023-413, 2023-421, Code Officer Amy Becker, pages 15 and 16 of your agenda.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Your name, sir?
Michael Hightower.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Amy Becker, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, and I'll do these consecutively, the cases.
Starting with 21, and then which one's first?
Yes, 20, I'll do 421 and then 413. We'll do
Thank-
them together
All right, thank you.
to save time. Okay, case number CE 23-421, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, a violation of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-61. Case number CE 23-413, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A. The address for both is 2420 West Jonquil Drive, Citrus Springs, Florida. The property owners on both is Michael E. Hightower Jr. and Olivia M. Hightower. I have good service via posting of the property on both, as well as the Lecanto Government Complex. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted to evidence for both. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on July 11th, 2023. Photos taken on August 3rd, 2023 at my corrective action inspection. Photos taken on September 1st showing the posting of the properties. And photos taken on my final inspection, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B for both. A copy of the notice of violations, a copy of the notice of hearings and pre-hearings order, and a copy of the posting affidavits. This is the lawn, this is the junk.
Mr. Hightower, do you have any objections to those exhibits being admitted?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Then they'll be admitted as exhibits A and B without objection. Without objection. Thank you.
On July 11th, 2023, I conducted my initial inspection for excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation and observed grass in excess of 18 inches at the property. I also observed accumulation of junk and debris, discarded furniture and other debris, which is a clear violation of the ordinance listed above. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, the property remains in violation.
Anything else before the recommendation?
No.
Okay, sir, do you have any questions for Ms. Becker?
I don't have a question, I just have a statement.
Sure, go ahead.
Last night, about 6 o'clock is when I got home from work. So the grass has been mowed completely on both sides of the fence, the backyard and the front. The furniture has been removed and taken to the landfill. Honestly, to finish cleaning up any other junk or anything like that, it would just take a day. My wife and I, we hadn't been at the property since, I want to say May, because we are currently in the middle of a divorce. So we didn't get any of the notices till about August 10th. Once the kids were returning to school, my wife and my children, they returned home. And that's when I did I mowed the grass initially, and then I mowed it last night, and I will be continuing to mow it every other week for them. I don't need much time at all to correct any of these ordinances. Honestly, I can fix them all today.
Okay,
Anything that's left.
all right, thanks. What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is on case CE 23-421 and case CE 23-413. The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $50 per each case, along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division in order to allow for reinspection.
Okay, thank you. Based on the testimony, I think it's clear there was a violation. There's no dispute that there was a violation, so I'm going to find that there's a violation. I'm going to adopt the county's recommendation in each of those cases at $50 a day plus the cost, and that once you complete that, you notify them that you have complied. I'm going to give you 30 days to do that.
Yes, sir.
I know you don't need it, but I recognize that going through a transition in your life, for you, your wife, your children, that may cause some issues, and so I want to make sure that you have enough time to be able to do that and work out what you need to work out with your wife, and so that you can be there on a regular basis to ensure that that's taken care of.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else, ma'am?
No, thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Just a question. So the $50 a day for each is
If you fix everything within the 30 days, get everything done, you don't have to worry about that.
okay. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next case on today's agenda, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, and I apologize if I am not. Next case is Wayme Ravines and John Posazik, case number 2023-357, Code Officer Amy Becker. Page 24, your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Katu.
What is your name, sir?
John Podjasic.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Ms. Becker.
Thank you. Amy Becker, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number CE 23-357, accessory use or structures, a violation of the Citrus County Land Development Code, Section 3102A. The address is 229 South Barber Street, Beverly Hills, Florida. The owner is Wayme Ravens Pojicic and John Pojicic. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted to evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on July 5th, 2023. Photos taken on August 4th at 2023 at my corrective action inspection. Photos taken on my final inspection September 19th. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing and pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit and a signed certified mail return receipt signed for on August 11th, 2023. Yes, it's a vacant lot with a slab. The house was demolished years ago.
Thank you.
On July 5th, I conducted my initial inspection for the LDC violation of accessory uses or structures on vacant property. I observed 2 vehicles, 1 RV, 2 trailers on the property. As of my final inspection on September 19th, there's 3 vehicles, 1 RV, 2 trailers, and a canopy tent. I have an expert witness as well.
I see the canopy tent, I see the RV. Maybe there's another picture. Can you point out the trailers for me? I don't know that I recognize, I'm seeing a trailer.
It was my last inspection,
Okay.
so we've got, let's see here. Thank you. There's the canopy tent right there. This is a trailer, and then there's a trailer back here. Let's see if I can get you a better picture. Horse trailer, tent, RV.
Okay.
So it's changed. So in the beginning, there wasn't as much.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, do you have any objections to these exhibits being entered into evidence?
No, I do not have any objections.
so-
I just want to explain it. How,
Well, you will have a chance.
okay.
So we'll admit exhibits A and B without objection. You may continue.
I have an expert witness.
What is your name, ma'am?
It's Joanna Katu. I'm the
Were
Land
you-
Development Director.
were you
I
sworn in?
was, yes.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Sure. This is a vacant, residential lot that should be vacant. There shouldn't be anything here. They have applied for a residential house permit. They did that in August. It has not yet been issued. In fact, it was denied by all reviewers. So there really should not be anything here at this time.
Okay, anything else?
No, thank you.
Anything else from the county?
Not at this time.
Oh, thanks. Whenever you're ready. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Podjasek?
Pojasic, whenever you're ready, sir.
Yes, sir. Before I came to, I'm gonna have to start something. So before I came to this Florida, I called the department here and I asked exactly if it's okay for me to bring the RV and be on the property because I am applying to build the house on this property. So And the lady told me, I don't see a reason why not. And she even transferred me to another lady, and she concurred that yes, I can do that.
Who did you call? Do you remember who you called?
Yes, I call here a county office, and this is why I came. So upon the selling my little house with my wife, I came with RV and come another time to pick up all of my belongings. So I started working on the property, because property was very much run down and was a bunch of garbage, and the people say that this is empty property. That's what the people put, bunch of garbage and everything else. So I clean up property, and at one point Miss Becker came and they told me that, and I was completely not aware of that something like this. Otherwise, I wouldn't make myself, at home, sort of. So I explained it what's happened, and she told me that I need to apply for the permit. So I did apply for a permit, and permit was issued. And at the same day, when she visit the second time, so permit was issued. I was under the impression that when the permit was issued, that I am okay to stay there. So because that's what has been told. So and permit was issued, and I came a few weeks later. I'm coming to the county probably every other day to check on my permit. Only thing was missing. There was, according to people from the apartment, it was missing the calculation from engineer. So I asked him to do the calculation and send it to the office. And after the calculation, I was assured that everything is there. So I came almost every other day. Some of them, ladies, even was a little bit upset because I'm coming so often. And I said, well, I would like to move on with these things. And many times the lady told me that we're going to push this further and we're going to make this permit work. So yesterday I came, and one lady, I showed her the permit number, and she came back and she gave me the list what is need to be done. So I didn't hire a structural engineer or architect from another state. I hire engineer from this state. So I was under the impression that everything gonna be there. And they assured me there was everything there. But there was few things missing, and that's it. So it's not nothing major, but there's still, I provide yesterday to structural engineer, to architect, everything what he need to provide, and that's where I'm at. So I certainly did not want to create any nuisance here, so I only came here to be productive part of this community. I have never violated anything. You can check my record everywhere. I cannot violate anything. I came here to this country legally and always obey the law. I will never do anything what is against the law. So, unbeknown to me, that's what's happened. So, and I don't have somewhere to go, because you cannot move somewhere else with this thing. So I believe the permit should be. I would like to ask, if these things could be speed up a little bit, and that's it. I will move on and try to build a house before I hit the 70. This is not very easy, definitely, and I certainly would like to finish and build the house before my wife gonna divorce me. But this is not very easy to live in the condition like this, I can tell you so. And I can endure many things. After all, I came from communist country, so I can do this stuff. So I have built several houses before, and in Minnesota. I was under the impression, just like everywhere else, I'm coming with the documents. A week later, I'm coming, picking up the permit, pay, and that's it. So that's how it works. Unfortunately, many people would like to live in this wonderful state, and because of that, I believe that this is much more slower with the permitting and things like that. So otherwise, I'm not really didn't come here to make anything else. So I was under the impression that if I'm gonna clean up, so usually people reward someone when clean up stuff. So in this case, I was I was kind of punished for something which I was not aware of that I'm doing wrong. I don't. I believe the Ms. Baker did her job. I don't have anything. She was all professional, informed me on everything. So I was not aware of, and that's it. So I cannot blame anybody. I came with the right approach. I asked.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you do with the trailer on with the mobile home? Are you living there?
Yes.
And what is the tent for?
Well, tent, I just put, when I brought stuff in my belongings, so I put the stuff inside to organize this thing. So it's not.
What do you mean? What's in the tent?
Well, different tools and future things what I want to build. So, like framing.
So are they the tools and materials to build a home?
No, not really. There's some supporting materials. So like for scaffolding and things like that. So.
Okay, tell me where you are in the permitting process.
Well, this is very few things only. I have a list here. If you like to check.
Tell me more in terms of time. How long?
Times, I should be probably a couple of weeks the most. I believe, and this will be all depends how the review come. But I just not much. This is only
after you get the permit.
Yes.
What is your intention to continue living on the in the RV on the property and
I believe,
and having the tent, or is it?
Yes.
What is your intention?
Yes, I believe that I could. That's what they assure me. Any time when they told me, everybody here told me that as soon as I apply for the permit.
I just wanted to know your intent. That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No.
Okay, thanks. Is there anything else from the county?
Did you want to say anything else?
Just to clarify, the outstanding stuff in the permit are quite extensive for the building code. The plans examiner does not have enough information to approve it. I don't think a couple of weeks is actually legitimate, even if he turned it in today. There's a lot of items.
How long do you think would be appropriate?
It's going to be on him as to when he can get all those details with the building plans. Theoretically, when he gets those to him, sure, we can do it in a couple of weeks and turn it around, but it's a lot of stuff, so I don't know how, since he's not talking about, I think the list he has is from one reviewer, and there's actually 3 that have denied it in various divisions. So we have a couple things to consider. I don't think a permit within 30 days, realistically, getting with an engineer or an architect and getting those engineered plans is realistic. I think it's gonna be some time.
Well, I mean, what's realistic?
I
Assuming that he does what he's supposed to do.
assuming he does
30
what he's
days,
supposed to, probably 60 days is legit, but he'd have to do that, of course.
All right, thanks. Anything from the county attorneys?
Until he has a building permit, he's not allowed to have anything on that property.
And you can't be living in the RV on the property either.
Yeah. What is, can you point me to the section that defines accessory uses?
It's in the definition section of the code.
Yeah, I'm sure that
Chapter
is. but-
1.
Yeah,
chapter one.
and they don't have a number, they're
Yeah.
in alphabetical order.
Yeah. Definitions, maybe 1,500.
Yes.
You said they're not in alphabetical order?
They are in
Oh, they're-
alphabetical,
oh.
they don't have a number assigned to them.
Okay, well,
Accessory
Alphabet-
structure is actually page 2, so it's
Page
page 1-8
Okay.
of section 15.
thank you so much. Oh, it would have been nice if we had just accessory use defined. What I'm reading here is, it doesn't seem as clear as I would have liked it to be. Can you help me out here a little?
In this regard, the only way you can have an accessory use or structure is by having a principal use or structure on the property. So by the very nature, because there is no primary use, you cannot have an accessory use or structure per Citrus County Code. And since this home was demolished for whatever reason, it's just a slab, there is no other primary use or structure currently utilized on the property.
So the house would have to be built.
I mean, so you're saying that he has a lot, he can't do anything with it, he can't, if the primary use is for him to just go over there and look at it, and sort of enjoy it, or just to have it as an investment property, the primary use can be almost anything, couldn't it?
No, the principal use, give me 1 second to find that section.
I'm not talking about the
Joanna
zone.
might be able to help.
Right,
you with that.
and also the violation section, the 3102, accessory structure shall not be occupied as in a residence, so that's also part of that.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm with you with the occupancy issue.
And then, okay, an accessory uses may not be placed on residentially zoned property prior to establishment of a principal use. So your point is you do have to establish the principal use, and then you can put the other things, not
Well,
really
yeah,
a
so-
storage
so-
tent, but.
Well, no, I hear you, and I'm looking at this accessory use or structure definition. One of the things I remember distinctly, I clerked for 4 judges over a period of time, during and after law school, and we spent a lot of times on definitions, and statutory construction. And oftentimes we spend that time because there was some ambiguity. And I'm looking at this, and it would have been nice if it said, the primary uses are as follow, permitted are as follows. And I don't recall seeing anything like that. And then I see the accessory structure, and a structure is usually something that's affixed to the property, and not an RV. An RV is definitely not affixed to the property. You can just kind of drive it off, right?
Yeah, which is why we talk about uses and structures in the citation.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
no, I understand. I get that. I understand your interpretation of it, but I'm wondering if I'm agreeing with the interpretation. That's the issue that I have. So help me out there for a minute.
Give me 1 second. There's actually a portion of the code, and I don't have it memorized, that breaks down each zoning area. So because this is zoned residential,
Yes.
there's actually and Joanna might have it off the top of her head, there's actually a chart that in that residential area, it allows what's permitted and what's and if it's not listed there, it's not permitted. The chart section is, give me 1 second.
It's residential, medium density residential, I believe.
Yeah.
So the MDR category, there's a land use chapter, and MDR does list there, and you'll see not RVs, but you'll see residential homes, principals. It's the MDR section.
Yeah, I mean, I get the use of agricultural zoning, you plant stuff, or you have livestock. A commercial, it's a business, you can run a business off of it. Residential, you can live on it.
What's the zoning classification of this
And you can build a structure to live on a residence. I get that. There's still some ambiguity there. So I think there's a violation because you have the tent there. And the tent is, it's affixed to the property.
Yeah, but this is why it's tent, not a structure. Tent is not a structure. You can fold it down tomorrow if you want to.
Yeah, you can
So
demolish a
that's-
house tomorrow as well.
No, but that's not, I'm sorry, but that's the tent, and they shouldn't be considered as a structure. So, and the same time when this lady presenting these things, that says very few things need to be corrected, and only porch, which was the main things, which is setback, has to be set back 25 feet from, and it's 29. So porch could be eliminated on the actual blueprint, and that's would be fine. So I'm just, I really will like to. I don't want to change on this by the mind, but this is, you can see that this is very unreasonable. the things changing as almost like weather. Because when I came here, yeah, I understand that Miss Becker told me, yeah, I'm not supposed to. But as soon as I apply for the things,
Well, you said you talked to Ms. Becker?
yes, yes.
We spoke on July 5th. I spoke with him and advised him he was in violation. And then we spoke again on August 4th, and he said he had a building permit.
Yes.
And I explained to him that he didn't have a permit in hand. It wasn't issued.
No.
So he applied for the permit.
That's
So the
right.
terminology we didn't communicate. Because I told him, I said, that doesn't mean it's issued.
Wow.
So I understand he wants to build a single-family residence, and he's applied, but the permit is not in hand. He hasn't paid for it. He hasn't paid any monies for it.
Why?
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I did pay. I did pay, and this is why permit has been issued. That's just not finalized, but permit has been issued, and I can provide you the number. So it is permit. So this is a little confusing
Do
sometimes.
you have a copy of the permit?
No, I have a number, permit number, because obviously you have to pay to have a permit. It is permit, actual permit. They didn't finalize approving for permit. So, and everybody
So
told,
let me make sure I understand you. You paid for the application for the permit.
yes,
And when they, follow me for a minute.
Mhm.
And when you paid for the application for the permit and you submitted the application, they assign a number to it.
yes,
And then they're
And-
going through the process of the approval.
yes.
And
the
then
foot-
in the approval process, they told you these things need to be corrected. Am I correct?
yes, in approval.
Well, slow down. Just follow my questions for a minute.
Yes,
Whose phone is that?
I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. If you need time, let us know.
No, I'm turning it off.
You sure? Okay. And so, so you applied, you paid the fee, they gave you a number for the application.
that's right.
And then they notified you that there were things that need to be corrected?
Hold on, it's not quite, because when I received the permit, the same day, when Miss Becker is supposed to come and visit property, and she visited property, and I called her right after, and I told her that I have applied, and all blueprints are in, and that's how they're supposed to be. So, and everybody say that's what is okay. And 2 weeks later, I presented everything else what they require besides that what the structural engineer provided.
So everything that you believe that they're requesting, you provided?
Yes,
And then they're still reviewing that, is that
and
what
they
I'm
told me that 2 weeks ago I came there. If you will check the things, so you will find out that
Well,
how
no,
many.
just I'm not checking anything. Tell me, so are they still reviewing it?
2 weeks ago, I came there and I asked what's going on. The lady told me that she gonna make a faster because she understands
She's gonna make a what?
She gonna make this thing push farther, faster.
Okay.
That I can.
So she
have
told
this
you,
permit.
she told you she'll try to expedite the process?
Expedite, yes, that's right,
Okay.
sorry. Okay, and when she told me this thing, she checked, is anything I need? No, you don't need anything. You have everything. You have
And
to.
for which department was that?
What? The building department, when I presented,
Okay, so that's one department told you that?
yes.
Okay, and then what?
Well, so, and I come every other day coming because on the portal, I couldn't find nothing. It's in review and review and review. And I came yesterday and I asked, could you tell me when this is gonna be done? So then lady come back and give me this list, what they need to be additionally.
And what department is that from?
The same department.
Same permitting department?
Yes.
Okay, from the building department.
Yeah.
So those things, you still need to provide those?
Yes, that's
And
right.
you believe that you can provide those in how long?
Well, I already sent it text.
How long, sir? How long do you think you can get, you need to get that done?
You've given me 1 month, I guarantee
You need
that,
30, you said 30 days.
yes.
Okay, so can I ask you one more time, ma'am? You said there were 3 departments that needs approval. What are the other 2 departments?
One is a site review, which is also part of building division, and one of them is, plans review, site review with building division and engineering division.
An engineering division.
Right.
And those other 2 divisions still have, they still have requirements that he has not met.
Correct, all 3 do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, is there anything else, sir?
No, sir.
All right, your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $100 per day along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and, not because of the RV, but because of the tent, I'm gonna find a violation. And I'm gonna impose a fine of $25 a day. And plus the cost. And I'm gonna give you 90 days to get this done.
Thank you, sir.
Should be more than enough time based on what was testified about today. And once you've completed that, it's your responsibility to notify the county.
Thank you, sir.
All right, best of luck to you.
Mr.
Can I get some
Prasad.
clarification?
Yeah.
And unless he has a permit, he's not allowed to have anything on this lot.
Right, well, he has 90 days to comply, right?
And then either everything has to be removed, is that,
Right.
if he doesn't get it within 90 days, everything has to be removed, or
That's-
he's,
Otherwise, he'll continue to be in violation.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Best of luck, sir.
Next case on today's agenda, Spivey Construction Company Incorporated, case number 2023-170, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 29 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Katu.
Building department needs to be telling people they can put cameras on phones.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And can you please state your name for the record?
It's John, Jon, Franz, Franz.
Thank you.
John, Mr. Franz,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me, what's your position with the company?
So I actually, Mr. Spivey's in the hospital. I am a lifelong friend, and I sold this property to, for Mr. Spivey to Mr. Tim Blake.
So do you have any role in the company? Are you an officer in the company? Are you an employee? Are you, what's your role?
So other than that, sir, there is no role other than the fact that, like I said, Mr. Spivey's he's basically a second father to me, sir.
All right, thanks. Let me be ready.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 2300170, violation of Citrus County Land Development Codes, Section 4002, site development without a development order or permit. The address is 2964 South Coleman Avenue, Homosassa, Florida. Property owner is Spivey's Construction Company, Inc. I have good service via the posting of the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Photos I took during my initial inspection on May 31st, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a copy of the posting affidavit, and a photo of the notice of hearing posted on the property.
All right, have you had a chance to review
First time
those?
I've seen these pictures, so.
Okay, are you familiar with the property?
I am familiar, I just drove by it this morning, sir.
Do those pictures accurately reflect
They-
what you saw of the property?
What's over, it's grown up a little bit since that time, but yes, sir,
Okay,
that is the property.
okay. While they're reviewing that, I'm gonna continue to consider you to be a member of the public for the purposes of this hearing, since you
Okay.
don't have any
Thank you.
official authority to act on behalf of the company or role with the company. Since you've confirmed that these pictures are accurate and based on the testimony of the officer, I'm going to go ahead and admit Exhibits A and Exhibit B. Whenever you're ready.
I conducted my initial inspection on May 31st, 2023, and observed that the property had numerous trees removed from the property. While researching, I observed that there was no permits applied for or issued. I have had contact with the property owner who stated that he has no intentions to develop the property at this time and just wanted to bring his RV to stay on the property from time to time. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, a permit has not been applied for, and I have an expert, Ms. Joanna.
Yes.
Joanna Coutu, Land Development. This is a residential lot with a low-density residential designation. It's about 0.6 acres. It should be vacant. We have no development applications on file.
Okay, since there's no intent to develop the property, well, why would you need one?
Why would you need what?
Why would you need a development permit?
Because
It means
they've done development on the property. That's why they're cited.
Just cutting a few trees, you said that's the development?
Correct. Tree removal on vacant property is not allowed without a development application.
Did they remove it or just kind of cut some trees?
It appears they did some tree removal, yes.
Cut the trees and sort of move them aside, or tell me what you mean by that?
You'll have to testify to this.
So in the photos, you can see that they cut the trees down to just be stumps so that they can fit an RV in there. So they removed the trees. They're not growing back.
I mean, no, they cut the trees. The trees are still there. They're just dead.
That is a violation of.
Okay.
Some vacant property.
Okay.
That's on a vacant property, correct.
All right. Give me a second, will you?
Sir.
These.
So I'm looking at the definition of development on page 1-18. It says carrying out of any building activity or mining operation, making of any material change in the use or appearance of any structure or land, or the dividing of land into 3 or more parcels.
Correct.
Definition includes all references in 380 Florida statute. Anything in there deals with cutting trees?
Yes, the county's position is that the carrying out of building activities, including clearing land such as removing trees, including if it's just chopping it down to a stump, as well as removing of the trees is a material change to the appearance of the land. So based on that, tree removal is a development under 4002A. So if you do that without having any building permits allowing you to make the developments to put a house on the property, then you have violated the code with the tree removal, because that is development that is unauthorized by a county permit.
Is there anything else other than that definition, under, on page 1-18 that you're relying upon for that interpretation?
Give me one moment.
The tree preservation section in the land development code also discusses this. It wasn't the citation, which of course was 402, but
I was looking for the number. Do you have it off the top of your head or do you? Okay.
chapter 5,
Landscaping, tree buffering and tree preservation.
yes.
5710, I think.
So, yeah, 57 is tree, 5700 is tree preservation. right
Is that
after
5710?
5710. And exemptions in 5715, which is not.
That's under maintenance.
Can you get back
No,
to
no, no,
the
I'm sorry.
podium so I can ask you some questions, Joanna?
Anything else?
I believe we had
I
some
just
questions.
had some
as well.
questions for
Oh.
Ms. Katu.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Katu, when somebody plans to put a house on their property, do they have to come in and get a site development plan or submit one?
Yes, ma'am.
And does the site development plan include locations of trees?
It does. It includes tree removal or no tree removal, depending on the situation.
And is the county, does the county require that, I'm sorry, is county approval required for removal of trees when the site plan is submitted?
On vacant, yes, when the
On-
site plan is.
and why is that?
And because otherwise people clear cut lots or remove trees and there's not a plan of development to meet land development code tree protection standards.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
You have anything else, sir?
Can I add, just for the record, Mr. Spivey was gonna be here, but like I said, he was in a hospital, so he was gonna represent this case this morning, but unfortunately, he was in the hospital.
What's he in the hospital for?
He told me, sir, he was peeing blood, so, he said that he needed me to come up and handle this for him, and I said, yes, sir.
Okay.
So, other than that, I can provide you with that for reference if need be.
Okay, is
But,
there anything else about the actual case?
Yeah, so actually, I do, and I just wanted to let you know that I'd like to submit some things. Can I submit?
Of course.
Okay, so for evidence, some pictures as well, and then I have a contract here. It's a land contract with, Mr. Tim Blake being the buyer of the property. So I'd like to submit that, so if he actually has an interest in this property as well as Mr. Spivey does at the current time, so just so we can kind of align the.
You wanna go
the-
ahead and mark those as,
Okay.
Let's mark those as exhibit C and D. and-
Okay.
I'm going to object to him as a member
just- he
of the
just
public
marked-
submitting.
He's just marking them for now. I don't think there's any
All
harm
right.
in marking them, right?
Can I mark them for the public then, that these are items that,
You can just go ahead and mark them. I didn't say I'm admitting them or anything like that.
sure,
As
okay.
if,
Yeah, we'd like to
No,
to mark them.
Just go ahead and mark them
Sure.
exhibit C and D and then give them to the county so the county can review
Sure.
them.
There you go. There's the closing statement as well as the addendum and the contract. So, and this is Mr. Blake, he's the actual purchaser of the property,
Okay.
so his rights are in line
Okay.
with Mr. Spivey.
So now we've got another party involved here who's not here to testify.
No, he is here.
Oh, he is here,
Yes, ma'am.
but he doesn't own the property.
Well, he owns rights to the property, ma'am.
He owns what?
He owns rights to the property, he has a land contract, he has an option to purchase that property. So he has an option to acquire that property when the contract's fulfilled, ma'am. as you can see, there's a settlement statement there from a closing attorney in Tampa.
Are you saying that this man now owns the property?
No, ma'am, what I'm saying is he has what is called a land contract.
I understand that. I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out,
So he
this
has
is from Spivey Construction to Tim Blake, and this is Mr. Blake?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prasad, can we, if possible, can we ever take a recess?
Right now?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You need a recess?
If we can, so we can speak with legal.
Well, I mean, rather just kind of get it over with, quite frankly, if that's okay with you guys.
That's perfect for me, sir.
Although I'm going to object
Yeah.
to any more information being submitted on behalf of a corporation that's not represented by an attorney here or by a principal.
Yeah.
He was allowed to provide information as a member of the public, but now we're submitting documents and other testimony. And I don't think that's appropriate coming from a member of the public, so I'm going to object.
Yeah, so I agree with.
That's understandable.
I agree with the county's attorney. No representative of the entity is here.
Due to medical
and-
reasons, though, sir. So
Hold on a minute.
Yes, sir.
Let me finish. In Florida, we have this rule. In fact, I think it's a rule in many places, in addition to Florida, that a corporation or an entity is not
Represented by a
a natural person and needs to be represented by a lawyer. And a lot of there are exceptions to that, dealing with some issues. In these hearings, usually there's some leeway given to the owners of those entities or any representative of those entities, but you're neither.
Understood.
So while I can go ahead and hear what you have to say,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
get with you in a second. Have a seat. We'll get with you in a second. Well, I'll be happy to hear what you have to say and take that into consideration. I don't know that I can admit any evidence being submitted by you at this point in time. Now, when I'm talking to you, that may be a different issue. We have to talk about that probably in a different way. But is there anything else from you?
No, the only thing I would ask, sir, is that that this be rescheduled so Mr. Spivey can be here and actually represent himself and behalf of the corporation. I think that would be fair to him, and as opposed to, I can present our testimony and things like that. Or we can call him on the phone if you wanted to get a verbal confirmation, but I just don't think it's fair to Mr. Spivey because he's,
Okay.
he's currently in the hospital.
I understand. Is there anything
Yes,
else?
sir. I mean, other than I could submit the case because I think I
What do you
I
mean
could,
sub-
but
what do you mean
I mean,
submit?
submit just like, she doesn't want to see any more evidence.
No,
I'd
what do
like
you
to
mean submit the case? Tell me
Well,
what you
just-
mean by that.
Submit our case, just like the county submits their case on the reasons for the.
When
code
did you sell
violation.
the property to
I think
Spivey Construction?
I sold the property for Mr. Spivey. I think it was May. No, it was back in March, sir. March or April.
Of this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So can I ask you, since you sold it back in March of this year? give me
Yes, sir.
1 second.
I don't, there's no evidence that there was a sale. What this man has stated is that there was a contract for sale, basically, where somebody, the deed hasn't even transferred and won't transfer.
Oh, he's talking about, I'm asking something totally different. I'm not asking.
He
if
said
this-
he sold it for Mr. Spivey, not to Mr. Spivey.
No, I believe that, well, did you sell it for him or to him?
I sold it for Mr. Spivey. Mr. Spivey is a personal friend, Mr. Blake. is the quote unquote will be the buyer and has the option contract.
Oh,
on
I'm
the
sorry, am I mistaken then? I thought you testified earlier on that you sold the property to Mr. Spivey.
No, I sold the property for Mr. Spivey, sir.
I see.
My
You're-
apologies if I.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yes,
Um,
and he couldn't have sold it for Mr. Spivey because it's owned by a corporation.
yeah, you are a realtor?
Yes, sir.
And so you were the agent,
Yes, sir.
and in the transaction.
Yes, sir.
And as the agent in the transaction, were you able to, when is the first time you saw this property?
First time physically seeing this property was this morning, sir.
Okay, all right. You have any other questions for this?
No, I
member?
do not. I'm
Is there anything
continuing to
else?
object to him presenting any information.
Understood. Yeah, is there anything else?
No, sir. I just request that Mr. Spivey could be present.
All
on
right,
behalf
thanks.
of him. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Sir,
Yes, sir. I have.
what is, raise your name and to be sworn
Do
in.
you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Your name, please?
Timothy Blake.
Okay,
Am I considered a person of the public, or I have some interest in this property? I've paid,
so, what is your interest in the property?
I paid $5,000 up front. That's my interest. And I have a contract from the realtor and the other people saying that once I reach a
Okay.
certain amount,
So let's see,
Of
was it
interest.
exhibits C and D? Can you please hand that exhibit C and D to Mr. Blake?
yes, this is the contract I got.
Which exhibit is that?
I have no idea.
Which maybe this is C. This would be the closing statement. Well, can I label this? Yeah. So this will be C, which is the settlement statement from the closing attorney, sir. And then I'm going to label D as the actual sale and purchase agreement, which outlines the terms and the interest of Mr. Blake.
Okay. So, go ahead.
So I am wondering what is considered a large weed and what's considered a tree, because nothing was cleared any larger than 3 inches max. Nothing was even cut except for brush and very small, large weeds.
Right. Do you
small
mind handing
trees.
him the exhibits?
And I have a lot more pictures than just these
That's it.
of the property and the trees that were cut. However, I don't believe that they are
So
considered trees.
before you, Mr., is it Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Blake, before you do that, when's the first time you saw the property?
About a week before I bought it, which
was-
would have been,
I'm sorry, you said you bought it. You mean that a week before you signed the contract?
yes, a week before I agreed to purchase it and sign the contract. And
So
gave-
when
gave
did
my
you,
money.
when did you sign the contract?
Settlement date, May 3rd, 2023.
That's when you signed the contract? I think that would be Exhibit D, the contract.
Exhibit D is the contract. sir.
What day did you sign the contract?
So that would be
5/1/2023.
And was it on that date that you actually visited the property or before that date?
I visited before that date.
Do you remember when?
So it's probably 4/21.
And tell me what you saw on the property at that time.
It's just a vacant plot of land with weeds and trees and brush growing.
You see Exhibit A, the photos?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do those, and those pictures were taken on May 31st, 2023. Can you tell me whether or not, when you saw the property in April, whether it looked the same way?
Yeah, it looks just like this outside of the brush and that being cleared from that spot.
Okay. All right, is there anything else that you want to say?
I was asking for some clarification as to how big the tree has to be in order to be considered a tree and not just a sprout.
Yeah, I don't know that I can answer your question on that front, but other than a question from me, is there anything else that you want to provide?
No, sir. I have these additional pictures here that were taken yesterday of
Okay.
the property.
Yeah, let's go ahead and mark those E and F.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to object from a member of the public entering evidence into this hearing.
I understand.
E and F.
Just for there are dates are on the back, sir, for the pictures of when they were taken, the E and F.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Also, I would like to add that
Julie, can I see your exhibits, please?
after this notification was given to us, I've gone down to the permit office multiple times to try to satisfy all of their needs. Currently, I went yesterday and they requested that I bring a blueprint in for a house, which originally I was not intending to be building. I have not even finished paying for the land yet. I'm not ready to be building. I've gotten the survey and everything else that's requested, and now I have to get home plans from an engineer. So that's where it's at right now. I'm absolutely intent on getting the home plans and doing everything that's requested. But it's just rushing me in my process. I haven't even finished paying for the land yet, and they're already rushing me to get home plans, so
Okay.
that's where we're at.
When do you close? When do you expect to close on the property?
It's once the amount, let's see.
I can give you the exact. You want me to speak? Here, I'll let you speak. You have interest in the property. You have an amortization schedule, and once this is.
Are you
complete-
finished with the exhibits?
What does this mean?
This is an amortization schedule, so once these payments are made in full,
These are your exhibits.
you'd receive the sale within 60 months.
So sale will be completed within 60 months or sooner.
Are we entering his exhibits?
He wanted to look at them. I've objected to them being admitted into evidence.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I said the sale, according to the amortization schedule, will be completed within 60 months, if not paid off earlier.
What do you mean the sale is gonna be, is this?
It's a contract for deed, basically.
Okay.
He does not own the property.
Okay, gotcha, okay. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, can you do me a favor and look at this exhibit B again from the county?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall when you saw the property on April 21st, whether or not you saw any of those trees that were cut? It looks like they were cut.
Talking about the stumps here?
Yeah.
Yes. These were cut down.
They were
chopped down with machete by me.
They were chopped down by who?
By me.
You did?
By me, yes, sir.
Okay. When did you do that?
May, not long after I signed the deed. Me and my two kids went out there with some machetes and we chopped those down.
How old are your kids?
11 and 14.
11 and 14 boys or girls?
Girls.
Girls. That was such a bad assumption on my part. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so why did you do that?
Because it's all overgrown. I couldn't even see the ground. There was weeds and shrubs and little trees all over the place. And I wanted to at least be able to back my truck into somewhere because I was parking in the ditch.
I mean,
And I got a survey done, and there was no way for the surveyor guy to get through the brush to go back and put his posts. So I cleared it, guy came out and did his survey. And, I was hoping to put up a fence to keep the commercial property next door's tenants from wandering off and throwing their trash all
So-
over my property.
I want to make sure I'm clear on this. So you cut the trees in order to pull your truck in?
Yep.
In order to allow the surveyor to come into the property and to do the work?
Yeah.
And then the third reason was what? I think you gave me three reasons. What was the third reason?
Well, the tenants next door, there's a condominium project next door. And this was completely covered with trash. They'd been littering this area for a long time. So I cleared all the trash out of here.
Well, so did you clear the tree, did you cut the trees so you can get access to clear the trash out of there?
We just cut the trees because they were small and in the way, the little ones. And
I know, but in the way of what? You said.
backing my truck in.
Backing your truck in to have the surveyor in.
Yeah,
and
to
I
pick
think
up all the trash and
pick
put
up
it in
the
the truck
trash.
so I could take it to the dump.
Yeah, and then you also said something about a fence.
This is right here on the property. Well, what I was wanting to do was put up a fence to keep the neighbors,
All right, so.
tenants out.
So when you look at that exhibit
But we
again.
not got to that yet.
Yeah, when you look at that exhibit again.
Yes, sir.
You see some fence posts?
Yes.
Did you put those fence posts up?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Because they kept pulling my property line markers out.
Yeah. Who pulled out the property markers?
You see on this page right here, A1 of 4. See the condominium project to the right?
I'm not able to see anything.
Oh, you don't see it 'cause there's only one.
You've got them, yeah. Okay,
They keep yanking property markers out. They're the ones that were dumping all that trash over on the property that I had to clear out.
okay, all right. I can have that back if you don't mind. All right, is there anything else that you want to tell us?
That's it.
Anything else from the county?
No, just my continuing objection
Sure.
to receiving evidence from members of the public and the fact that they're trying to represent a corporation that they don't have an interest
Sure.
in.
May I have my paperclip back? Thank you.
Special Master, if I may.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you letting me talk on behalf of the public, sir, in this, but I would like to, if I could, on the county's attorney, and I understand her position, but to have Mr. Spivey represent himself, if you feel need to be, due to, he can provide a doctor's note. But I just feel like that would be a fair gesture, sir.
All right. I'm inclined to continue this hearing based on the medical conditions described for the principal of the landowner in this case. And so if the county does not object to that, that's what I'm inclined to do. Any objection from the county?
Do you have an
No,
objection?
we don't have any objections.
No objection.
Okay. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're not gonna be admitting those others into evidence.
So these C and Ds?
So you can have these back. Thank you.
When will it be continued to, sir?
October 18th.
October 18th.
We can't,
I'm sorry?
we can't continue, will we have the same special master on October?
No.
I don't think you can continue a hearing unless we're going to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be the
yeah.
one. Can we get a recess, please?
Yeah, we can now, yeah.
Thank you.
Just wanted to- We're waiting, Kim.
She's fine, we can go ahead.
Okay.
But we do need to clarify that the Spivey hearing will have to be continued to a specially set hearing,
Okay.
not to the regular hearing date, so that you would be hearing the continuation of the hearing.
Okay. We need to coordinate that, or?
I'll
Yeah.
coordinate it with your office.
Okay.
And then I will send certified letter to Mr. Spivey.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If everyone's ready, can we skip one ahead and just jump to Edward Dial? He's on page 9.
Okay. Are we ready? We call it back? Okay.
Is the officer here?
They're in.
Oh, they're not.
We're waiting. Next case on today's agenda, Edward J. Dial, case number 2023-355, Code Officer Alan Jonason, page 9 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Coutu.
Please raise your right hand.
Huh?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I do.
Your name, please?
Edward James Dial.
Thank you.
So before you begin, sir, Mr. Dial had a request.
I'm a service-connected disabled veteran, and I've contacted the advocacy for disabled veterans to represent me because I'm incompetent. So whatever you're telling me, I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know what you're sending me. I'm 100% service-connected, incompetent veteran.
So are you, tell me about the, what you're asking us to do.
I contacted the Advocacy Center for representation, and they said it takes 60 days for the process from the time of the application for them to get somebody to represent me as a veteran.
So you're requesting that we continue this, this case?
That's
Okay, any objection from the county?
A continuance or a reset just for scheduling purposes, so
We can reset it, continue to either one.
we have no objection to a reset, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and, I'll go ahead and grant your request. And I guess we'll coordinate that?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll send you something in the mail, certified mail.
Thank you.
How many days out do you want to have this
So
reset?
let's see, set 60 days, you know,
I know they
I've
just.
worked with the VA before and and sometimes it takes a little longer than what they say, so, you know, what's the furthest out that you can, that we can give them is probably what we're looking at.
November or December, which?
Let's do December.
December 20th. And
Yeah,
you'll
I'll-
get something in the mail.
All right, I already called them yesterday, and they have a limit. If you're on hold for longer than 22 minutes, they hang up this place, so. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, and have a great day.
All right. So
Thank
I
you.
get it in the mail then, right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys for accommodating.
Yes, sir. Next case on today's agenda, Garnell G. Headings and Cynthia Q. Headings. Case number 2023-115, Code Officer Brandon Norman. Page 14 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Joanna Coutu.
Me? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you please state your name?
Cynthia Headings.
Thank you, ma'am.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Good morning, sir. Brandon Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is for case number CE 23115, Development Applications Applicability, a violation of Chapter 4, Section 4002, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie of the Citrus County Land Development Code. The address is for 12035 South Astor Point, Floral City, Florida. Property owner listed as Darnell G. Headings and Cynthia Q. Headings. I would like to authenticate I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt, and I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A will be photos taken during the initial inspection on May 23rd, 2023, my corrective action inspection on June 28th, 2023, and my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, as well as an aerial image from the Citrus County Property Appraiser website for November 2022. Exhibit B will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the hearing continuation letter, and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
Ms. Headings, just go ahead and take a look at them. Let me know if you have any objections to them.
No objection.
I think some exhibits A and B would be admitted without objection. Thank you.
On March 23rd, 2020, or May 23rd, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property for site modification without permits. The property was found to be in violation of the above ordinance due to not having any permits issued before the removal of trees from the lot. The aerial photos show that the trees were removed between November 22 and the day of my first inspection. I have had contact with the property owner. We have discussed the violations and the options for compliance. As of my inspection on September 19th, 2023, no permits have been applied for or issued at this time.
Anything else?
That's all, sir.
Is it Hennings?
Headings.
Ms. Headings, would you like to tell me what happened?
Well, in the beginning, we had conflicting information from the building department saying that because we were adjacent next to the property, that it was okay for us to cut down the trees. We since then have done a replat to combine both properties together. And that was like, I think, a week or so after we spoke with, well, my husband spoke with this gentleman here, not familiar with his name, but he's not here today. So we've done a replat to satisfy. They said as long as the property was together, combined together, then we shouldn't have an issue with it.
Okay.
Because we live right next door to the property. So we joined the properties together.
So you're saying that it was okay to, they told you it was okay to clear the property that you're living on?
Well, it was, at first it was an issue because we had the property separated. We bought one property ahead of time and the other one we didn't own the property. We just had recently obtained that property and we wanted to take the trees down. Like I said, it was conflicting information from the building department. They were telling us that it was okay to cut down the trees or whatever, but evidently there was a problem, so we had to do a replat to join the properties together because they said as long as the properties were up under one, then it would be considered a full property and we could take the trees down from there.
So am I correct in understanding that the property that you bought, the empty lot, it's now replatted into your home lot?
Yes,
And so the address is now one address, your home lot address?
yes.
And when was that done?
I want to say in June or July. I want to say
Of this
around
year?
July. Yes.
If I could, sir, I don't think you did a replat. We don't have any applications for a replat. Did you maybe file something with the property appraiser or something? I'm not sure what you're saying because we don't have any replat applications for this site. So I'm trying to figure out what you thought was a replat. Did you maybe combine the lots with the property appraiser? Did you file a unity of title perhaps, something like that? Some kind of application. We don't have a replat application. That's why I'm confused for you.
Maybe it was a unity of deed.
Okay,
It
they
could
did
be a
something with
unity
the,
of deed
did something with the
or
deeds.
replat
It
or
doesn't
something
change
like
the fact that there are two lots of records still, and they're not looked at as one development site for development purposes. We don't have any replat. A replat would be one way to have solved this, but we don't have an application for a replat. That is a formal plat. You get with the surveyor, show a pre and a post, and you record it, and then it becomes one lot. of record.
Okay,
You're
I'm
still
not
two
sure,
lots
but
of
I think
record.
it's either,
Hold on, hold on.
It was
How-
supposed to be a
how
replat
long-
or a
how-
unity of deed, I'm
Give me
sorry.
one second. How long does it take to read?
A replat, and once they get all the survey work done, it should be done within about 60 days.
60 days?
Yeah.
And how long does it usually take a survey to go out there and do this? Well, when you bought the property, did it come with surveys?
Yes,
Okay.
did.
And you have the existing survey for the?
but we've already taken care of all of that, and I'm not sure.
Well, let me
but-
ask you,
Yes.
did you, when you went through this process that you think is a replatting, did you hire a surveyor?
Yes,
And the surveyor,
I think it was coastal engineering. We
well, it
did
doesn't
that.
matter to me. So when you hired the surveyor, did they come out and they inspected both of the properties?
Yes, they did.
And they did some work and they gave you some documents?
Yes.
What did you do with those documents?
I don't have them on me right now, but I do have them at home.
What did you do with them?
What did I do with them?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't do, well, I had to go back and pay filing fees and so forth with,
Did you come to the county offices and say, and ask them for application or anything like that?
no, I didn't do anything personally, no.
So did anyone do anything on your husband's behalf?
We assumed that it was the engineering, that handled the survey that we paid
Oh, I
the
see.
fees
Okay,
to.
I got you. Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, well, I mean, if you have the surveys done and that thing's done, then.
They might be on their way, yes. You
Yeah.
might be well on your way to combining them, but did you ever want to develop that lot separately, like another house?
Well, they told us that we would never be able to separate it.
Okay, so I guess that's an intent. So you're well on your way to a plat, they just don't have one yet,
Yeah,
so
that's
that
what
wouldn't
it
have given
sounds
them a permission to do it yet. You're not quite there.
That's what it
But
sounds
we can work with you.
And
Yeah.
you said you paid filing fees, do you mean recording fees with the clerk of court?
We didn't go to, she just told us to bring forth, additional $490-something so that they can file it. That's it.
Sounds like a plat, but I don't have one yet, so,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, is there anything else you want to tell us?
No.
Okay.
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $150 per day along with the administrative cost to begin after the date that she deems sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master find that it's respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division once the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
How do you abate something like this?
Let's we should do a one-time fine for 4002.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was-
just a
that's what-
one-time
So we-
fine.
Okay. In light of that information, the Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $2,500 for a one-time fine along with the administrative cost to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owner
Okay.
in light of the information given.
What's the minimum cost I can impose as a fine? Let's say the minimum fine I can impose.
I don't have that information, sir.
What chapter 163 lays out the
4002.
162, I'm sorry.
For a fine citation, it's
Says shall
300.
not exceed $250 a day or not exceed 500. May impose a fine not to exceed 5,000.
So there's a limit, but there's no minimum.
Right, there's no minimum, but
Oh,
it
even
states
better.
that shall consider the gravity of the violation, any actions taken to correct the violation, any previous violations.
If I can, sir, just to justify the reason why we decided on that, it was just because of the severity of the violation, the large amount of trees that were removed from the property, and the impact that it's going to take on not only their property, but also the surrounding neighbors. We've had complaints of essentially debris running off when it rains, piling up in people's yards as far as like sand and dirt and stuff, because there are no trees now to hold that debris to the surface. So that's the reason why we chose the $150 a day in the if they had proof that they were replatting, and then the $2,500 because of the no replat.
Okay. May I ask you a question? So, if in fact they had gone through the replatting process and do that, would they have been able to clear those trees?
I don't know if to the extent the way he's describing it as an entire clear cut, probably not. You do have a minimum you have to keep, but it would allow them to remove some trees, yes.
Okay. And how,
We did leave some of the trees.
so do you know what percentage of the trees? I know you don't know the exact percentage, but
No, I don't.
was it half? Was it 25%? Was it more than half?
I'm not sure. I know that it was told that, I think it was like for every so much inches or something like that, we had to.
Correct. Yeah, it's based on the
Yeah,
size of the
that's-
trees.
Assuming the person that took the trees down in the contract did what we asked, then yeah.
So you don't have an aerial that's after the clearing, do you?
Yeah, what are your pictures showing as far as?
As far as the aerials go, those are provided by the property appraiser website. They're updated, I believe annually. I don't have one for this year though.
No.
So again, these trees were removed. It's the dates on there. I believe it's November. I don't know the exact date. I know it's
So they
November
would not have done the
2022.
aerial yet? They would not have done another aerial?
I don't believe so. There's not one on the website as of yesterday, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
But it is a large amount of trees. It's a pretty big impact for the community, especially not having the properties surveyed to determine how many trees need to remain.
Had that been done, would you also have had some requirements to prevent runoff to the adjacent lots?
Correct. The land development code has a standard. You have to keep runoff on your lot as well. Yes.
Yeah. So in addition to clearing the trees, was there grading of the property or?
I can't attest to the grading, sir. All I can attest to is that the complainant has complained that when it does rain, there is a lot of runoff that builds up on their property to include sand, dirt, other debris from the clearing of that lot.
The whole area is sand and dirt. I mean, when it rains, it runs off wherever it goes, whether the trees was there or not.
Yeah. Well, anything else from the county?
I believe that's all, sir.
Okay, anything else, ma'am?
No, sir.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna find the violation, and I will impose a fine, a one-time fine, of $500 plus the cost. And, I'm gonna request that you complete the permitting process within 90 days.
The what
Not
process?
the permitting, the plat, I think you're saying that you're going through the process to get that.
Yeah, I think that's been done since June or July, but I don't think that we have no control of how long it takes.
Well,
Yeah, just get with our office. I'm not aware of an application, so we can get with you. See what's
Okay.
okay? All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Next case on today's agenda. Marlene Thurman, case number 2023-100, Code Officer Brandon Norman, page 32 of your agenda.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Can you please state your name for the record?
Maureen Thurman.
Thank you, ma'am.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Brandon Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is for case number 23-100, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 2031A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is for 5710 South Pendant Point, Floral City, Florida. The property owner listed as Marlene Thurman. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A will be photos taken during an initial inspection on May 12th, 2023, another inspection on May 16th, 2023, a corrective action inspection on July 24th, 2023, and photos from my final inspection September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-order hearing, pre-hearing order and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
Ms. Thurman? Go ahead and can you hear me, Ms. Thurman?
She's hard of hearing.
Are you with her?
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm her daughter.
You want to come up first?
So you have the devices.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And your name, please?
Doylene Winnie,
Can you spell both names for me?
DOYLENEWINNIE.
Thank you.
And what's your relationship again?
I am her daughter.
You guys have any objection to her
All
daughter
this has
helping?
been
No,
picked,
no,
yes.
picked
All
up.
this-
All
I'm
this
trying to
has
see if we
been
have anything to help
picked up.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you guys have any objection to either one of those exhibits?
No. No, we don't.
All right. All right, without objection, they'll be admitted as Exhibit A and B.
All that's been cleaned up.
Well, the backyard house.
Thank you.
Well, let her do my talking, please.
Just based on the pictures, looks like they've been trying to make some good progress on it.
Yes, sir. There's still some left to do. Not
Okay.
much though.
All right, thanks.
Okay. On May 12th, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property in response to an animal services call. The property was in violation for the above ordinance. An additional inspection was conducted on May 16th, 2023. It remained in violation of my corrective action inspection on July 24th, 2023. I have had contact with the tenants, not the property owners. I made the tenants aware of the violation, how to come into compliance. There has been progress made. From the initial inspection, we had access to the rear of the property. My subsequent inspections, I haven't had access to the rear of the property. So I've had to do my inspections from the roadway. I've just been denied permission, so I'm just sticking to the roadway inspection. So I'm not sure how the rear of the property looks as of today, but as of September 19th, 2023, the property remained in violation.
Would you like to tell me anything?
Yes, the rear of the property was cleaned up because my fiance cleaned it after she got the initial code violation. The renters didn't do it, so my fiance went back there and done the back half of it and took that all to the junkyard or the dump. And,
So is this property where your mom lives or is it rented?
no, sir. It's at the end of the road, and she lives the address right after it.
So it's rented out?
It is.
Okay.
And so the rear did get cleaned up, and she kept telling her renters that they had to do the front half of it, the front part. And they kept telling her, yes, we'll get it done, we'll get it done. And they'd do a little bit, but then it would get better, and then they'd bring other stuff in. So she'd have to tell them again, you need to get this cleaned up. I'm going to have to go to a hearing on this. You need to get it done. And of course, they kept saying, yes, we will, but they never did. And as of yesterday, or maybe even a couple of weeks ago, it did look better. But then we heard that they're supposedly moving out. So there's stuff on the carport again.
So do you guys have a written lease?
No, she rented it to an older lady who was a friend, and it was a handshake thing. And she was supposed to be the only one there, but then afterwards, she had brought her family in. Her daughter is there with her now, and who knows who else. So it was never a lease thing or written contract.
Is there an attempt to evict them?
She was going to try to evict, but she felt bad because of the older lady. And they have not paid the rent in 2 months. They gave her a reason in August about electrical problems. Well, we went in there and we had all the outlets and the switches changed. And the reason the electrical was bad is because of roaches and the way they're living inside, the tenants. So all that was fixed, but they never paid her for August. So, and they didn't give her anything for this month. So the last time she had somebody evicted, it costed her like $1,000. So she didn't know if this was going to cost her. So she hasn't went up and tried to evict them yet because of the financial, and she's on Social Security.
And I think they're moving.
And like I said, we've heard from other people that they are moving.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Anything else from the county?
Other than the recommendation.
Well, what is your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the Special Master assess a fine of $50 per day along with the administrative cost to begin after the date that you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the Special Master find that it is respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Miss, is it Thurman?
Yes, Thurman.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
What did he say?
How old are you?
I'm 80.
80 years old? And you have more hair than I do.
What did he say?
And you have more hair than he does.
So how do you get around?
Me.
I'm trying to get her to answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So can you hear me at all?
Can you hear him at all?
A little bit.
Okay. Do you live alone?
Do you live alone?
No, I have my daughter lives with me. She's 50. She's 57.
She's special needs.
And we both draw Social Security.
Okay.
And I'm not rich. The house that I'm renting to this old lady to, she was a friend of mine. She lived with me and my daughter for 3 years. Then when the reason I bought this house is my son, he didn't have credit or nothing, so I had to put it in my name for him to have. And then almost 10 years ago, he passed away. Well, Mary, the woman that lives in it now, she wanted to move down there. Well, she's on Social Security too, so was letting her rent it for the same price I'm still owing on it. I still owe on the house for 5 more years. I'm still paying, and I'm letting her pay what I pay on the house. I was doing her a favor because she wasn't drawing much either. So we both draw, me and my daughter both draw Social Security.
Yeah. Is your mother the only caregiver for your sister? All right. All right, you guys have anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, by your own admission, there's a violation. You guys done a substantial job in cleaning it up. You have the issue with the tenant. It is a rental property. You have options available to you. I'm going to give you some time to sort of exercise those options, but it needs to be done. You know, especially since you indicated that there are pests that's on the property that's probably damaging the property and may actually wander over to the neighbor's property.
Right.
And we don't definitely want to negatively affect the neighbor's property. So I'm going to find a violation. I'm going to do $25 a day plus the administrative cost, and ask that you get it cleaned up. But I'm going to give you 90 days to do that.
Okay.
So if you need to evict them, there should be enough time to evict them so you can clean it up.
Okay.
I know your mom feels bad about her friend, but it comes a time where you gotta, you know, sort of look after yourself for a little while.
Okay, and the fine will be after the 90 days or before or
If-
from
if-
now?
If you get it done within the 90 days, you should be fine.
Okay,
And that's why I'm giving you the 90 days so that you can have time to get that done.
okay.
You know, and I'm glad that you're helping her.
And then we need to call their office?
That's right, and let them know it's done. All right?
Okay.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank
It was
you.
Great meeting you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case on today's agenda, Terry J. Knox, case number 2023-392, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 18 of your agenda.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please state your name.
Terry Knox.
Thank you.
Are you here with her?
Yes.
Relationship?
She's been working for me, helping clean up the place.
Okay. Are you gonna be testifying as well? Why don't you just come and just get sworn in at one time so we don't have to do it twice?
Ma'am?
Okay.
Sorry. That's okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Your name, please?
Jessica
Thank you.
Jessica what?
Livingston,
Spell your last name?
Livengood.
All right, thanks.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. Case number 20-392, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 3598 South Westmoreland Drive, Homosassa, Florida. Property owner is Knox Terry J. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on July 10th, 2023, and corrective action inspection on July 27th, 2023, and photos of my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
I was bragging. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, all this is all there. That's the neighbors. That's that's Thank you, Joy. I made a mess here. Here you go. That's,
Do you have any objections to any of those?
no.
They'll be admitted as exhibits A and B without objection. Thank you. Are we ready?
On July 10th, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed discarded furniture, construction material, miscellaneous junk and debris on the property. On July 11th, 2023, a notice of violation was issued for accumulation of junk and debris, which is a violation of the ordinance listed above. On July 27th, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that the property remained in violation. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, the property remains in violation, although improvement has been made. I have had contact with Mr. Knox, the property owner, and Mr. Knox has been actively cleaning up the property. He had a shed that stored all the debris, but it burned down. And Mr. Knox stated he is trying to get a new shed to store the remaining items in.
Thank you. Ma'am, is there anything that you'd like to tell us?
No, that's correct. We lost our shed and then all the debris that was in the shed, what was left or remains, or stuff that he would normally put in the shed became visible to everybody. So we are trying to rectify the situation. We have made several trips to the dump scrap yard and he's working on it. If we're still in violation, have some more time because we're still working on it.
So all of this stuff was in the shed before?
No, he actually does what they call scrapping or scrapper. People will give him a washing machine, a refrigerator to take for scrap because they don't have a truck or they're too old or whatever. And occasionally he gets them working or they accumulate, which they had done. And we're not doing that anymore at this time. No, nobody's giving us anything.
Okay. Now, she said that you guys have made an improvement in progress.
We have been working on it.
Okay.
Nonstop.
All right. How long do you think you need to actually get it all done?
Well, we've acquired some fencing or privacy fence or whatever, and hopefully he's going to rebuild another shed or get a shed if he needs that to put his stuff in. I don't know what amount of time we need exactly, whatever is allowed.
How much time do you think it'll take? How long have you been married?
8 years. And he's disabled. He has a bad back, and we have to hire people like this, young people, to help us do a lot of this heavy lifting and moving
So
stuff.
you're gonna do all the heavy lifting?
I have been,
Yeah.
Okay.
All the washers and dryers.
How long, you look pretty strong. How long will it take you to get, how long will it take you to get all that done?
Couple months, month, I don't know, couple months.
2
Would be
months?
nice.
Yeah. That'll give him time for a shed, to get everything up and out of the way and put up.
All right. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, that's it.
What is the county's recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $50 per day, along with the administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask the special master additionally to find that it is the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
You said that your husband's disabled?
Yeah,
What's his disability?
He has a cage in his back and it causes problems. Sometimes his legs don't work, sometimes they do. So it's intermittent. Sometimes he can lift a washing machine and then other days he can't even get out of bed. So it's like, you know, I can't say.
Does he work?
No, he's on disability.
And do you work?
No, sir, I'm on Social Security.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to tell us?
I have to say, they both put in their hard work too with me. There was no stopping. We've tried everything we could to have everything cleaned up and picked up and it looks a lot better. It's way better than it was.
Yeah, okay. All right, based on the pictures, based on the testimony, based on your admission, I'm gonna find that there's a violation. And I'm gonna assess a $25 a day fine plus administrative costs. I'm gonna give you 90 days to clear it up. And in order that you notify the county once it's done. I mean, just because I'm giving you 90 days doesn't mean that you can't get it done in 30.
Oh, I talk to them regularly. We
Yeah.
talk.
Especially with your helper. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next case on today's agenda, Robert Patterson, case number 2023-90. Code Officer Brandon Norman, page 23 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Coutu.
Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Brandon Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number CE 23-090. This is for commercial vehicles in a residential area. A violation of Chapter 3, Section 3320 A of the Citrus County Land Development Code. The address is for 6414 East Holly Street in Inverness, Florida. Property owner listed as Robert Patterson. I have good service via posting at the property and the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A will be photos taken during the initial inspection on May 16th, 2023, my corrective action inspection on June 26th, 2023, and my final, my pre-hearing inspection conducted yesterday, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-hearing order, a copy of the hearing continuation letter, and a copy of the posting affidavit that I completed, as well as the photos of the posted notice of hearing at the property.
Okay, there's no one here to object to them, so we'll go ahead and have those admitted as Exhibit A and B. These transformers, where are they?
It's only down to one semi-truck at this time, as of my inspection done yesterday. The other one was removed from the property.
All right, thanks.
On May 16th, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property for a truck parked at a residence. The property was found to be in violation of the above ordinance. The property remained in violation of my corrective action inspection on June 26, 2023, as well as my pre-hearing inspection conducted September 19th, 2023. I have had contact with the property owner and they're aware of the violation and how to come into compliance. We met face-to-face during one of my inspections. I explained to him what the ordinance was.
What was the response?
He stated to me that he would have it done before the notice of violation date was up, and obviously that didn't occur, so.
Okay, what's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the Special Master assess a fine of $100 per day along with the administrative cost to begin after the date that you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owner once they were advised of the violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master find that it is respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
I'll go ahead and find a violation, assess a fine, $100 a day plus administrative costs and the other county recommendations, and give 30 days to abate.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Oh, so do you guys want to do lunch, or you want to plow through and just get out early?
I leave it to your discretion on that.
And what do you guys say on your end?
I think we prefer to plow through.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Or we're gonna-
Right.
I'm grabbing a snack.
Get Joanne out of here. We're ready. Next case on today's agenda, Elizabeth M. Randall and Hillary L. Oliver, case number 2023-258. Code Officer Brandon Norman, page 26 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Coutu.
What's the page number here?
26, sir.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Hello again, Brendan Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is for case CE 23-258, special requirements for all accessory structures, a violation of the Citrus County Land Development Code, section 3102, subsection A. The address is 3366 South Oakdale Terrace in Inverness, Florida. The property owner is listed as Elizabeth M. Randall and Hillary L. Oliver. I have good service via posting of the property in the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A will be photos taken during the initial inspection on June 22nd, 2023, my corrective action inspection on July 21st, 2023, and photos of my final inspection conducted yesterday, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-hearing order, a copy of the posting affidavit that I completed, as well as the photos of the posted notice of hearing at the property.
Car, tent, and it looks like. Always living in the car.
Thank you. What's the address on this one?
3366 South Oakdale Terrace.
Okay. Oh, whenever you're ready.
Okay. On June 22nd, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property for a car and other items on a vacant lot. The property was found to be in violation of the above ordinance. The property remained in violation at my notice of violation corrective action inspection conducted July 21st, 2023, as well as my pre-hearing inspection conducted yesterday, September 19th, 2023. I haven't been able to make contact with the property owner, but I have had contact with the occupant of the vehicle on the property, and he is refusing to vacate the property, stating that he has permission to be there.
So,
I've informed him of the violation of the county's ordinance for storage on a vacant parcel, and still he refuses.
so his car is parked there, and is that a tent?
There was a tent there initially and some other debris. He cleaned that stuff up, but the fence and everything else that's there is still in violation. There's also some tree debris on the
Looks
on the
like that
left-hand
fence has
side.
been there for a while. How long has that fence been there?
That I'm unaware of. It's been there since my first inspection that I've done.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a new fence, does it?
I don't believe it's in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The fence could have been there for years, it looks like. Did you say you have contact with the homeowner or just the guy?
I
in the
haven't had
car?
contact with the property owner at all. But
No.
I've had some unfortunate conversations with him. They've ended up being where deputies were called out.
You're talking about the guy who's in the
Yeah,
car.
he's extremely hostile. He gets aggravated very easily. So I have to be kind of quick when I do my inspections, or either he's gonna step out. He's always inebriated, and like I said, very aggressive towards me. So with my inspections, I have to be kind of hasteful. in order to avoid any conflict with him.
And so the violation that you're telling me about is the car, is the
The
tent?
car being parked on the vacant lot, yes, sir.
Car being parked in a vacant lot, and it's there intermittently, right? He goes and he parks there and he stays on the property?
As far from my conversations with him, my brief conversations with him, he's staying on the property in the car.
In the car?
So he's treating the car like an RV.
Essentially.
It's parked there.
Essentially.
He's living in it.
That's
I mean, have
the
you
way
ever
he's
gone there and
explained
the
it to
car
me.
not be there?
I have informed him of that, and
No, I mean, have you ever
Oh.
gone there and the car not be
Oh,
there?
not once. No, sir. The car's always there, and he's always there.
I mean, the car's operational?
I'm not aware of that. He hasn't informed me of that or not.
I guess I'm gonna struggle with this one just like I did the other one. You know, the fence issue is probably the issue that I probably would be able to hang my hat on. But how long has the fence been there? And was it there before this person became the property owner? And did they actually do this before they became the owner or not? I don't know that I have enough evidence to indicate that. Would say it's the county.
Rick-
attorney.
Rick- Do you want?
We're not,
You're not citing for the fence?
No,
Deciding
I
for the
I
car
apologize for the
being on a
confusion.
vacant
Yeah,
lot
it's the
and a
car that's
person
parked there
living
and the other the debris items that were there
Yeah.
initially. So like I said, those items, the buckets and trash and debris,
Yeah.
and the tent has been removed. But again, the car remains on the
So
vacant lot.
when you go there, how much time do you spend there?
Initially, I mean, I was there for, I think maybe 30 minutes, my initial inspection. That's
Yeah.
why I initially had the conversation with him. My second inspection, approximately 5 minutes because of how aggressive he was and
Uh-huh.
me just trying to resolve conflict. And since then, we haven't had any contact then.
So there were 3 times basically, right?
Yes, sir. My initial inspection, my corrective action inspection, and my
Yeah.
pre-hearing
I don't know,
inspection.
I mean, I guess what I'm thinking is if I go and I park on a piece of property and I'm there and then you come over and I feel like I'm being intimidated or I feel uncomfortable, I get into a difficult conversation with you or I get aggressive. And then you go away and then 10 days later on, you come back and I just happen to be there again. And then come back again, I happen to be there. Does that
It's-
really mean that I'm actually there on a regular basis, that I'm permanently there?
I mean, it's not a matter of him actually being there. He's admitted to staying on the property, stating that he has permission to be on the property and that he won't vacate the property.
Did he say he was living on the property?
He stated he's living on the property.
No.
In addition, it's a vacant lot.
It's a
There's-
vac-
There's
yeah.
no house, there's no permit being pulled. He's not even allowed to have a car parked on it.
Yeah, I hear you, and
So
maybe I'm just not, maybe I'm just not following how that leap is being made, when I look at the definition of accessory uses. Because,
You have to first establish a use, and there's been no use established if it's a vacant lot. And no permit has been pulled to construct a home, which would then establish a residential use. As
Yeah.
part of a residential use, you can park on your property, but in this case, there's no permit has been pulled, there's no residence established on the property.
yeah, I see pictures in the definition, which is very helpful, and all of the pictures deal with an addition to a home and some other type of use on the home. There's nothing in here that leads me to believe that a vehicle can be an accessory use or a structure.
Well, there has to first be a home.
Does there really though? I mean,
That's either a home constructed or a permit pulled to construct the home.
For me
In
to-
fact, you couldn't really put the car there until the house was constructed.
Well, you were saying?
It's
Ms.
in the accessory use structure that the use or structure has to be incidental or subordinate to a principal use or structure. So in order to even get to having anything on your property, you have to first have that principal use or structure, such as a home, because this is a residential area. So any use on this lot has to be incidental or subordinate to a principal use. There is no principal use at this point. So it would be a violation of using it for anything, including parking your car there.
Yeah, I'm still, I hear you, but I'm not following your logic because you're saying that there's no principal use.
Mhm.
And in order to find a violation, it has to be a use or structure subordinate to the principal use. If there's no principal use, there's nothing to subordinate it to.
Correct. So you cannot have an accessory item, including a vehicle, without having that primary.
Principal use first.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm following. I hear your logic and I think I'm following you, but I'm not sure that I'm agreeing with it. I don't know. But how did this get on your radar?
By a verified complaint, sir. All
Someone
my
com-
inspections have
someone
to have a valid complaint.
Someone complained, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Can we have testimony from Ms. Katu, since she is the director of growth, let's see, what is your title?
Land Development Director, which is
is
Land
land
Development
development-
Code. I interpret the Land Development Code. In this case, it's a medium-density residential lot. Storage and parking are not principal uses allowed in medium-density residential. You see that in the land use table in the land use chapter. Single-family residential is, but storage and parking are not. Those can be accessory too, which I think Ms. Harrison was talking about, but not as a principal use in the MDR district. So she's
Sure.
correct that parking and storage of a car or parking of a car are not allowed as a primary use.
I understand. I sued PNC Bank a number of years ago. And I sued them because we claimed that they were violating a statute. And every single court in the United States at the state and federal level disagreed with. Just was completely opposite of what we thought it was. And sure enough, at the trial level, the judge ruled against us in a motion for summary judgment filed by the bank. We appealed, and the 5th DCA unanimously ruled in our favor on that statute, on that interpretation. And so it was really brave for them to rule against literally every single decision, even from Guam. In that it was a uniform commercial code issue. And so the banks went to the Florida legislature and lobbied the Florida legislature to change the code. And they actually did. And in the comments in the legislative history, it specifically cited our firm and it specifically cited our cases as the reason they changed it retroactively so as to kill our cases. And so the way I'm reading this and the way I'm looking at how it's charged as a violation is very different from the way you're reading it and from the way the county attorney is reading it. And I think it's just based on my interpretation. I don't know that I can, in good faith, find a violation. And I'm sort of concerned about, once you start that ball rolling, how far down the road does it go? What else could be a violation? And so I'm not going to find a violation here.
Could we refer you to the code section 2406
Yes.
regarding what is allowed in this residential district?
It's chapter 2, page 12, starts MDR residential.
12?
And yes, and it goes to page 13 and then on to 14 as well. These are the permitted uses that are allowed on this piece of property, as well as the conditional uses and the PUD that is permitted on this property.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And if it was charged under this as a violation of this section, then I think that it probably would have been an easier leap.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
So the the code that we cited indicates that any use that is not a primary principal use is not permitted on property. And this table just cross-references what those uses that are permitted as principal uses are. And my understanding, you're supposed to read it statutes and
Right, so that it makes sense.
Together.
Right. And so as I'm reading the definition of accessory use or structure, you indicated that there's no principal use for the property.
correct.
And I read this as that being a condition precedent to the other issues. So if there's any use or structure in the same lot, and of a nature customarily incidental and subordinate to the principal use.
Mhm.
So you have to have the principal use initially, and you told me that there was no principal use.
Correct. In order to have an accessory use or structure, you have to first have a principal use. In this case,
You have
this
to
individual,
establish the principal use.
I understand.
Correct.
I think I'm following your logic.
but in this
Yeah.
case, he has a use that is not an acceptable principal use.
Yes.
It would fall under the category of an accessory use. Based on this definition, it would be an accessory use. And you can't have the accessory use without first having the principal use.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, I hear you. I just disagree with it. And
Completely understand.
I'm sorry about that, but I just have a different interpretation of it.
Excuse me, can we possibly continue it and do
No.
more
No.
research?
The other point is this is a vacant lot, and as a vacant lot, you can't park a car there.
I hear you, and I just don't think that the section that you cited is the one that's applicable. Maybe there's another section that's applicable, but the way it was noticed and the way that you have it, I just don't find the violation there. I just don't, I don't see that violation. And not only that, but it's just too easy for anyone to come onto the property and get really frustrated with a government official, regardless of how well-intentioned, and that be a situation that's probably not best for anyone involved. So,
I don't understand your last point.
well, I mean, like I said, this is a vehicle, it's not an RV. It's not intended to be lived in. Whether the guy, in the short times that and interactions that you've had with him, said that or not, I don't know that that's sufficient for me to say that's his home and he's there. But regardless if that was the case or not, this is a car. The car can move at any time. It can
But
back and forth.
It's not supposed to ever be on a vacant lot.
I hear you, but in terms of whether or not it is an accessory use that's under the definition, I don't know that I agree with that based on what the county said that there's no what did you say, no primary use
Correct.
of the property. I find that to be a condition precedent as a matter of just statutory interpretation. And I could be wrong, like I indicated in my PNC story. Everyone else said I was wrong, and the 50CA unanimously said I was right. So reasonable minds can differ on that. Right, so I'll find no violation on this one. What's the next one?
Thank you. Next case is on today's agenda. Sherry L. and Christopher A. Run, case numbers 2023-71 and 2023-72. Code Officer Brandon Norman, pages 27 and 28 of your agenda. Expert witness on the case, Joanna Coutu.
Hello again, sir. Brandon Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is for case number CE 23-071, as well as CE 23-072. I'd like to present them both if you'd allow. Sir?
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna.
Understood, sir.
I'm seeing which one you're doing first. Which one are you doing first?
I'd like to present them both at the same time because I've done the inspections for both violations at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. CE 23-071 is for abandoned, unserviceable, and unlicensed vehicles, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 4, Section 20-41 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Case number CE 23-072 is for temporary occupancy of the recreation vehicle, a violation of Citrus County Land Development Code, Section 3140, temporary uses, Table 3-2. The address is for 13059 East Shawnee Trail, Inverness, Florida. The property owner listed as Rund Sherry L. and Christopher A. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I'd like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. All photos for both cases were conducted at the same time of the inspections I'm about to state. Exhibit A for both cases will be photos taken during the initial inspection on May 16th, 2023. Photos from a corrective action inspection on June 26, 2023. Photos from an inspection on July 24th, 2023. And photos from my final inspection on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B for both cases will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-hearing order, and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
Okay. There's no one here to object, so without objection, those will be admitted as Exhibit A and B for each of those respective cases. Thanks. Said 7-1's on top?
7-1 should be on top, sir.
I might have flipped them, I apologize, I was
Oh,
looking at them.
it should say in the top corner.
So is this the recreation vehicle one?
This one's the RV occupancy.
RV,
So
so,
that one's 7-2, and then
so
this
this
one
is the
the
first
unlicensed
one.
vehicle.
Okay, got it. All right.
There has been some progress made on the unlicensed vehicles. 3 of the 5 concerns were removed from the property, so only 2 remain right now.
I see a picture of someone on the property. Is that the homeowner?
That's one of the people occupying the RV, sir.
These pictures look really familiar.
It was heard previously as well for
Okay,
junk and
that's-
debris, but
that's
unfortunately we weren't able to get the other 2 on the agenda, sir.
Okay. Okay.
On May 16th, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property for a complaint of RV occupancy and unlicensed or unserviceable vehicles. My inspection found the property to be in violation of the aforementioned ordinances. I observed little change in my corrective action inspection on June 26, 2023 and July 24th, 2023. As of September 19th, 2023, some progress has been made for the violation for the unlicensed or unserviceable vehicles. No progress has been made for the RV occupancy. I have had contact with the property owners and they're aware of the violations and how to come into compliance.
Were the owners or the people, would they own the property?
I'm sorry,
The
sir.
people that you bumped into, would they own the property or they just?
The individual that I spoke with, he's the son of the property owner.
Uh-huh.
He was the one that was present last time.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he was here this morning. They had some family issues. I did ask him if he wanted me to proceed forward. He said that was okay. So that's why we're still going to present it today.
Okay. Oh, the son was here.
The son was here, yes, sir. I believe I believe his mother's deceased, and so he's the. It says on there somehow or another. We talked about this last time. I'm not sure the exact details of it, but he's the one managing the property at this time. So.
Do we know who actually owns the property?
What's the name of the property?
Run Sherry L and Christopher A.
On the property appraiser?
That's on the property appraiser's website.
That would be the owner, unless another deed or probate action was undertaken, but it would be updated on the property
Yeah.
appraiser's website.
So
I believe he stated last time at the last hearing he's in the process for that. So, but it just as of today it hasn't been completed. So, but he
Yeah.
wanted to come and speak on behalf of the property.
Yeah, so is it still in, the property is still in probate then? Is that what it is?
I don't have any court cases or any records showing. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the status is on that. I did check to see if the property was in lis pendens, but it's not. So
Yeah. Well, lis pendens would be litigation pending, sort of like a foreclosure or something like that, or a dispute, but if,
but when I did that search, I also checked too for any other probate cases for
You did?
for the property. Yes, sir.
and
There was nothing.
you checked in
The Citrus County Clerk of Courts.
Citrus County?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I've already said my spiel, so you want a recommendation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Citrus County Code Compliance Division would like to request that the special master assess a fine of $100 per day along with administrative costs for each case to begin after the date that you deem sufficient to abate these violations. The amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violations and the respondent's actions relative to these violations. We would also ask the special master to find that it's respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violations have been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
So you said that they did make some progress in removing some.
From my initial inspection, there were 5 vehicles that were either unlicensed or inoperable. 3 of those vehicles have been removed. The only thing that remains right now is a boat trailer that's missing a wheel, and the fifth wheel camper does not have a visible plate or registration, and they can't provide proof for that.
What did they say about that?
He told me today that he's working on getting the wheel on today for the trailer, so that
Okay.
would make it operable, and they will work towards getting the fifth wheel camper registered.
And then once those two are done, then that's.
Then the
good.
unlicensed and serviceable vehicles case would be abated at that point.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and find a violation on that one, which is that 71.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm gonna give 60 days to abate. And I'm gonna do $50 a day plus administrative costs and the other county recommendations. Now, tell me a little bit more about the RV. Is this, were you able to talk to them about the RV?
So I did make contact with someone during my initial inspections who identified themselves as the occupant of the RV. I didn't get a name or anything like that. They didn't give me any identifying contact. They just stated that they did live in the RV and that they were staying there in the meantime while they sorted out some sort of legal issue with their other home. Regardless of those details, every time I've been out there, the individuals have been there. I've seen them enter and exit from the RV. We've had contact. They continue to maintain that they live in the RV. I have informed them that, the ordinance states that they can't be in there for more than 14 days. They're in the process of vacating the RV. As of this morning, he told me that they're working on getting the camper out of there, hopefully. But again, we've been dealing with this case since May, and that's what I've heard every time.
Did you talk to the son about the RV?
I did speak to the son about it, and it's the same story on his end.
Tell me what he said.
That he's trying to encourage them, to come into compliance, either by vacating the RV or getting the RV off the property, because it is 2 violations for the RV right now. It's the RV occupancy as well as the unlicensed. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and find a violation of that one as well. And I'll do $50 a day plus the administrative costs and adopt the other county's recommendations. Hopefully that'll be enough for them to take some action on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How long's the day?
What's
On the
that?
occupancy? How much time are you giving them?
What did I just say, 60 days?
It said 60 for the unlicensed.
Yeah, 60 for the unlicensed. We're gonna do 90 on this one. It's a little tougher dealing with people who are occupying the place than moving the actual thing, so.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Next case on today's agenda, Thomas J. Taylor, case number 218-7110, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson. Page 31 of your agenda, expert on the case, Joanna Coutu.
Hi again.
Hello.
Whenever you're ready.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 218-7110. A violation of Citrus County Land Development Code, Section 4002, site development without development order or permit. The address is 4482 South Cox Point, Homosassa, Florida. Property owner is Taylor Thomas J. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos I took during my initial inspection on April 24th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit, and a photo of the notice of hearing posted on the property.
Is that a canal?
Yes, sir.
It's only what, two trees that were removed? Three?
3 or 4 of them, yes.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
I conducted my initial inspection on April 24th, 2023, and observed that the property had numerous trees removed. While researching the property, I observed that there were no permits applied for or issued. I had contact with the property owner who stated that he has no intentions to develop the property at this time. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, a permit has not been applied for, and I have an expert on this case, Ms. Veronica, too.
So these trees, were they trees that were there before they built a home, or did they put them in there? Some of these may look like they can either be decorative or they can be, could have been there for a while.
You mean like, I don't know how long the trees were there for.
Yeah, I mean, was that landscaping that they put together, or was it just naturally growing there? Do you know?
I mean, I can,
If I can clarify,
Yeah.
is this a vacant lot?
yes, it's a vacant lot. The lot looks like there's a house right next to it and on the other side, but it's on the canal, so these are very narrow, tiny lots.
Oh. And it's owned by the person who owns the house next to it?
Yes.
And it's not merged, it's just that.
Nope, they're 2 separate lots.
That's really narrow then, huh?
Yes.
0.1 acre each, so they're very small.
Was it just for a boat dock or something?
Can't have a boat dock by itself, so.
I mean, is it big enough to put a house on it?
Yeah, just like this one has.
Is
Yeah,
it?
the lots out there are managed, but they're
Yeah.
small.
The reason I'm asking is because the trees almost look like they're decorative, looks like someone put them there.
We're lucky we live in Florida. Those grow naturally in vacant lots and all over the place. We don't have to have them put in.
Yeah, most of the time it's like a palm tree.
I know, people pay big money for that.
I know, it looks decorative, it looks like someone actually put them there as part of when they were building.
I mean, when you clear out the underbrush, everything looks beautiful, so.
Unfortunately, you took the trees out with the underbrush and
Yeah.
it all looks.
Yeah.
He could have. Let him come in.
Yeah, I mean, was the intent to deal with? I mean, I get removing a forest and removing quite a bit of trees that changes the topography and changes the flow of water and all of those things, but was the intent to deal with small 3 or 4 tree issues like this?
It was. Citrus County is part of the Nature Coast. We kind of pride ourselves on that. We have a very strong tree preservation ordinance and went through a lot of hearings. So yes, there's a lot of protection for trees. I mean, when you have an existing house, yeah, we're not, you need to do what you need to do. And we of course have fire-wise standards, but I was looking at the logo, the seal behind you, there's a tree in it because trees are huge for the Nature Coast. So yes, it was
Yeah.
intended even for 1 or 2 trees if they're actually trees.
Well, let me ask you another dumb question. I'm full of them today, as you can
Nah,
tell.
not dumb questions, but
So, do you know whether or not this was before or after a hurricane?
a hurricane, we've been very fortunate. This is,
I mean, when were they cut? Is my point. Do you know when they were cut down?
oh, these were before the last hurricane, right? That was just a few weeks ago. So yeah, this
They
this
were
was.
cut down. They were cut down. You know that they were cut down a few weeks ago.
No, they were cut down before April. Before April 24th, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, when before? Do you know?
I don't know.
Was it like 2 years before, a year before, 6 months
Recently,
before?
because there's not like any weathering indicated on some of the tree stumps. So, I mean, I guess that's an assumption, but
Yeah.
When was the complaint received?
I guess that's probably a better question.
I do not have that information of exactly when the complaint was received, but I typically get out to my cases within a week of getting the complaint.
When was it assigned to you?
Assigned sometime very close to April 24th.
We go by the initial inspection. There's a 3-day priority to get out to those type cases. So whatever date the initial inspection on, then we can take 3 days from there would have been.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that you guys don't care if a tree is damaged or rotting or or poses a danger, like after a storm or something like that, right?
I wouldn't say don't care, but yes, there's statutes and our ordinance deals with stuff when you have damage and disease. Sometimes you have to replant, sometimes you don't, depending on how many you have.
Yeah. And based on the stumps, they
They have
some
to
of-
demonstrate that they're damaged or diseased. We can't just say wave our hand. They have to actually, per statute too, they have to give us something that says it's damaged or diseased. I mean, we can observe that sometimes, but it's very rare to be very clear. We need to have an arborist usually tell us that.
Yeah.
And that's in the statute too.
Is there a section of the code that says that you can't cut these trees down? Where you can actually charge them with that code violation, that they chop down some trees without a permit or without any of those types of things?
It's what you've cited them for, as you did.
No,
Site
you
modification.
cited for, what you cited for was,
Site modification, which will cover trees.
why, yeah, and I'm asking, is there something specifically that says that if you cut down a tree, it's a violation of this specific code? Like that, you said if the tree's damaged, you gotta get a permit, you gotta,
Yeah, there's the tree preservation chapter that I think we were looking at before does talk about for residential trees, what a tree is, how many you have to leave, that you can't do without a permit. Talks about firewise. There's a whole chapter on that.
why not just charge under that? As opposed to this?
Don't look at me. Whatever. They both are applicable. So both are violations. They both apply here.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. You guys may not invite me back after today, but I just don't, I'm looking at this and I just don't, I'm looking at this and I don't know that this is, it falls under this section of the code as a clear violation. If you have a section of the code that is more applicable and that's more directly applicable than that, I think that's where it should be charged.
I guess I'll have to disagree. I got from your comment about your lawsuit previous that you really take, to basically take those by heart and be smart when you're thinking about interpretation. I don't take this lightly. This is an accessory. I don't think there's any question about it.
Well, I hear you.
Does removal of the trees constitute development?
I don't know if it does or not
I
under
was-
this,
I
under
was
this
gonna ask
definition.
Ms. Couture.
As an interpretation of the Development Code, yes, it does.
Yeah.
For trees, yes.
No, I hear you, and I suppose that, it's clear, you testified that they have no intent on developing. And so, the only way to find out the intent is to ask them what their intent is, or to look at the actions. And then you weigh those things to determine what you believe the intention is, but there doesn't seem like there's anything that contradicts what they told you. They just cut the trees down, and they shouldn't have cut the trees down based on what you're saying, and I don't know that it falls under this section. It may fall under another section, so I don't know that I can find a violation under this section, so I'm gonna find there's no violation on this.
Can I just put our objection on the record?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So the county would object to that with the cutting of the trees. They have materially changed the appearance of the land. One of those trees at its base looked to be quite substantial. Again, our inspectors cannot walk on the property to put a measuring tape on them, but at least one of them looked quite substantial. So we understand that colloquially, the owner said he wasn't going to quote develop, but based on the development's definition within the county's code, the county's position would be that this did meet the definition of development and therefore would be a violation of 4002 sub A.
Yeah, I hear you, and I appreciate that. What's the next one?
Next case on today's agenda, Aaron M. Pullen, case number 2189613, Code Officer Brandon Norman, page 25 of your agenda.
Hello again, Brandon Norman, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is for case number CE 23-158. This is for accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address in violation is 4001 South Linwood Terrace, Inverness, Florida. Property owner listed as Aaron M. Pullen. I have good service via posting at the property in the Lecanto Government Building. I I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A will be photos taken during the initial inspection on June 5th, 2023, a corrective action inspection on July 14th, 2023, and photos from my final inspection yesterday, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-hearing order, a copy of the posting affidavit that I completed, as well as photos of the posted notice of hearing at the property.
Wait, since there's no one here to object, we're gonna go ahead and admit exhibits A and B. Thank you. Okay, whenever you're ready.
On June 5th, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted at the property for a complaint of junk and debris. It remained in violation at my corrective action inspection conducted on July 14th, 2023. In the past, I have had violations at this property for the same complaint. I've made contact with them in the past. Unfortunately, this time I have had zero contact with the complainant after numerous attempts. As of September 19th, 2023, the property remains in violation.
Were the prior violations adjudicated or not?
They were abated before we get to a hearing.
And they did clean it up?
They did clean it up initially.
Okay.
Yes, sir. This ties into the county's recommendation. That's why I mentioned it.
Okay, thanks. All right, what is your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $150 per day, along with the administrative cost to begin after the date that you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask the special master to find that it is a respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection. I just want to reiterate to you, a lot of this junk and debris is household garbage and trash, many times spilling into the highway or into the roadway of the street. So causes a safety and health concern for the neighbors around.
The people that you talked to before, were they living in the home?
They were the property owners, yes, sir.
And they live in the home?
Yes, sir.
And they still live in the home as far as you know?
As far as I know.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and find a violation, and I'm going to adopt your recommendation.
Thank you, sir.
Of a $150 a day administrative cost, and give 30 days to abate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case on today's agenda, Patricia J. Sullivan, case number 2023-494, Code Officer Amy Becker, page 30 of your agenda.
Amy Becker, Citrus County Co-Compliance Officer, case 23-494, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A. The address is 31 Roosevelt Boulevard, Beverly Hills, Florida. The property owner is Patricia J. Sullivan. I have good service via posting of the property as well as the Lecanto Government Complex. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on July 25th, 2023. Photos taken on August 8th, 2023 at my corrective action inspection. Photos taken on September 1st, 2023 showing the posting of the property. And photos taken on my final inspection, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing and pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
But since there are no, that's the only one here to object, so they'll be admitted without objection. Thank you. Looks like a yard sale. I'm assuming that that's what that guy's doing. He's buying something, now he's fixing a bike.
On July 25th, 2023, I conducted my initial inspection for accumulation of junk and debris and observed a mangled tent, pallets, and other debris. As of my final inspection on September 19th, there's been progress. However, the property remains in violation. I have not had contact with the owner. I've had contact with the owner's caretaker, Chris Patrick.
Looks like they did make some progress.
They've made a great amount of progress, and I saw Chris yesterday. He could not be here today, and he's got a small amount left to do. But yes, he's made great progress.
How was he to deal with?
He was very civil.
And he said this is his mom's place?
He's the caregiver he's telling me he's the caregiver for Patricia J. Sullivan.
What do you know about Miss Sullivan?
I've never met her, so I don't know.
Does she have a mental capacity to? You have no idea.
I don't know that answer.
Did he tell you anything about what why he was her caregiver?
No, he just said that he was her caregiver and that he would clean up the property.
Any relationship? You don't know if he's related or not.
He's not related. I did ask that question, and he's not related.
Did he say whether or not he was a hired caregiver or just a friend?
He did not.
I mean, here I'm wondering whether or not this person has the mental capacity. What does the county say about that?
We're supposed to charge the owner of the property,
Yeah,
the
and
violator, or the owner.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do.
yeah.
The violation's on the property, so the owner's responsible for it.
Okay.
And it's almost cleaned up. He's close, so.
And he's close to doing it. Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and find the violation. What's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $50 per day along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Yeah. I mean, considering that he's her caregiver and we don't know what her physical state is or anything like that, is it a big deal for the county to just follow up on this one without requiring her to contact the county?
I will certainly follow up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and adopt your recommendations at $50 a day, administrative costs with 60 days to abate. And I would ask, considering what you know about this homeowner, based on what her caregiver said, that you follow up with them, especially since they've made so much progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next three cases on the agenda, Howard C. and Katrina S. Krill. Case numbers 23-185, 203, and 204. Code Officer Brandon Norman, pages 6, 7, and 8 of your agenda.
Hello again, sir. If it's okay with you, I'd like to present all three cases at the same time.
Tell me which ones you're doing in which order you're doing them, because I have them in a different order in my book.
Yes, sir, I understand. I'll be presenting case number CE 23-185, which is abandoned, unserviceable, and unlicensed vehicles. It's a violation of Chapter 20, Article 4, 20-41 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances.
I'm sorry. Give me that case number again?
Yes, sir. It's last three is 185.
Page 8. That'd be
Okay. Did you say Krill? I thought she said Krill.
Mhm.
Yeah.
CRILL.
I don't have a 185 for. Oh, there. The first one. All right. Give me 1 second. There it is. I got it. Sorry.
It's got a different page number
Yeah.
of what's on the agenda.
Yeah, I've got it. Thanks.
In addition to the 185, CE 23-203 is going to be excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-61 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. And the last one that I have is CE 23-204. It's going to be an accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances.
Got it, thank you.
Okay. The address for these three violations is 9311 South Starfish Avenue in Floral City, Florida. The property owner listed is Howard Krill and Katrina S. Krill. I have good service being posted via posting at the property in the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. All photos for all three cases were taken on the same days of the inspection. Exhibit A for all three cases will be photos taken during the initial inspection on June 6, 2023, my corrective action inspection on July 24th, 2023, and photos from my final inspection yesterday, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B for all three cases will be a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the pre-hearing order, a copy of the posting affidavit that I completed, as well as photos of the posted notice of hearings at the property.
Go ahead and admit exhibits A and B for each of these cases respectively, since no one is present and there's no objection.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. 18's first, right?
185 is
185
first, yes, sir.
first, right?
They're all, exhibits A and B are gym clipped together, just to make it a little bit easier for you, but they're all stapled separately though.
And the second one is,
It should be CE 23-203, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation.
is the junk the TV and the refrigerator? Is it?
There's an appliance that's outside, there's a TV. The junk changes, tends to change from each inspection. From the last inspection, the TV and the appliance remain in the same position. There are some additional items and some stuff that's gathered on the front porch area.
Whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir. On June 6, 2023, an initial inspection was conducted of the property for a complaint of overgrown lawn, junk and debris, and unlicensed or unserviceable vehicles. My inspection found the property to be in violation of the aforementioned ordinances. I observed little change at my compliance inspection on July 24th, 2023, and as of yesterday, September 19th, 2023, little progress has been made. I have not had contact with the property owner, even though I've made numerous attempts to leave notices at that residence, as well as talking with the neighbors to try and get some contact information.
Okay. What's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests the special master assess a fine of $100 per day along with administrative costs for each case to begin after the date that you deem sufficient to abate these violations. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. This amount is
I'm sorry, how much did you say?
$100 per day per case.
Okay.
This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violations and the respondent's actions relative to these violations. We would also ask the special master additionally to find that it is the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violations have been abated in order to allow for reinspection. As far as the lawn goes, sir, I have had complaints during my inspections where neighbors will come out, they'll see me, they'll talk to me, and they'll talk to me about rodents and stuff that are starting to transition from that property over to theirs due to the severe overgrowth of the property. So it's a big concern for the neighbors that are out there in that community.
You know if anyone lives here?
From the neighbors that I've talked to, there is indeed a person that lives there. I have asked them, they don't have any contact information as far as a phone number. I've left my business card with the neighbors. I've left notices hanging on the door every time I've done an inspection to try and get contact with the individual. But unfortunately, I've had zero contact.
I mean, the cars look pretty new from the picture.
The vehicles do move. The ones that are registered with valid registration do change position from each inspection that I've been able to tell. And even the black SUV, it has moved. The one without the plate, it's moved from one of my inspections. So I do have pretty good belief that someone is there, and they're aware that I've been there doing inspections as well.
Yeah. Is the black SUV the only one without the license plate?
No, sir. There are 3 vehicles in total that do not have visible plates.
No. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and find a violation for each of those, and I'm going to do $50 a day. Cumulative, that's $150 a day. So what I'll do is I'll give 60 days to abate, plus the cost and the other county recommendations.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next case on today's agenda, CC Commercial Holdings LLC, case number 2023-492, Code Officer Amy Becker. Page 5 of your agenda.
Amy Becker, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 23-492, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A. The address is 7924 North Primrose Drive, Citrus Springs, Florida. The property owner is CC Commercial Holdings LLC. I have good service via posting of the property as well as the Lecanto Government Complex. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on July 21st, 2023. Photos taken on August 11th, 2023 at my corrective action inspection. Photos taken on September 1st, 2023 showing the posting of the property. And photos taken on my final inspection, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing and pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Since there's no one here objecting to those, we'll go ahead and admit those exhibit A and B as requested.
On July 21st, 2023, I conducted my initial inspection for accumulation of junk and debris and observed discarded lawn furniture and trash, which is a clear violation of the ordinance listed above. As of my final inspection on September 19th, the property remains in violation. There's trash on the right side of the home that's not contained, and there's a broken piece of furniture, well, it's outside furniture in the back.
Does anyone live here?
I can't confirm or deny. There's a car there. When I was there on July 21st, the husband was there and said that they are no longer together, but he didn't give me his name, and said that she had some type of abuse problem, and he left.
She was abusive and he left?
Well, that's what he said. I have no idea. When I knock on the door, the window was open to the left. When I say hello, nobody's ever answered. So I don't know. I cannot confirm.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there wasn't a over 18 inches violation.
There was the lawn complaint closed. If you look at the last pictures, the lawn's mowed, the front and the back.
Okay, there you go. It actually looked better with the grass.
So I closed the grass complaint,
Yeah.
but then they still left trash that wasn't contained to the right when I was out there yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you give me a paper clip of this? I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thanks. You can almost predict with all of these cases that people are going through some difficult times in their lives.
Yes.
And whether it's a transition from a relationship or transitioning from one stage in their life to the next life cycle, that next stage in their life, or maybe some mental health issues or physical health issues. Which makes these tough. I can imagine it's tough for you guys too, going out and dealing with it. What's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests the special master assess a fine of $50 per day, along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. And we would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
You said the only person you talked to was the husband,
Affirmative.
and he said he left because of some altercation. And did he give you any indication of how long he was gone?
No, but he did not. He didn't, I mean, he just left. I mean, we didn't have an extended conversation.
Yeah. Was he the guy who filed a complaint?
Pardon?
Was he the guy who filed a complaint?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going ahead and find the violation. I'm going to bump that down to $25 a day, and I'm going to give her 90 days to abate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case on today's agenda, Leona Forehand, case number 2023-459. Code Officer Amy Becker, page 10 of your agenda.
Amy Becker, Code Compliance Officer, case number 23-459. Accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A. The address is 10 South Lincoln Avenue, Beverly Hills, Florida. The property owner is Leona Forehand. I have good service via posting of the property as well as the Lecanto Government Complex. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted to evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on July 17th, 2023. Photos taken on August 4th, 2023 at my corrective action inspection. Photos taken on September 8th, 2023 showing the posting of the property. And photos taken on my final inspection, September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing and pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
No one's here to object to those. They'll be admitted without objection.
On July 17th, I conducted my initial inspection for accumulation of junk and debris and observed a bed frame, furniture, and construction-related items at the property. As of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, the bed frame has been removed. I have had contact with the owner, and she is aware of the violation.
How was it dealing with her?
I'm sorry?
How was it dealing with her? Was she easy to deal with?
She was very, very nice. I talked to her on September 12th and September 15th, and then yesterday I spoke with her daughter.
Do you know how old she is? About how old she is?
How old the owner is?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Is she older? Is she?
Well, I'm sure she's younger than I am, but.
So she's in her 20s?
Touche.
No physical or mental problems that you can identify?
No.
No? So, and you said she made some progress?
Yes.
Did she tell you how long it would take her to get this done?
No.
No. Did she
She wanted to keep the furniture under the carport. She wanted to keep that. And I told her she would have to remove it because it's an inside item. In other words, that's something that is supposed to be inside. There's water damage, humidity. So the one item, piece of furniture under the carport, I told her that she'd have to remove that.
Yeah. Okay. What's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $25 per day, along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount is appropriate given the severity of the violation and the respondent's actions relative to this violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Was her daughter an adult?
I'd say she was in her 20s.
Early 20s, later 20s?
I'd say early.
Okay. Did you talk to the daughter?
Pardon?
Did you talk to the daughter?
I did.
How was she?
She seemed very civil. She seemed like she was a very nice person.
And she lived in the house with her, or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and adopt your recommendations of $25 a day, plus the administrative costs, and the other recommendations you have. I'm going to give them 90 days to abate.
Pardon me?
90 days to abate.
$25.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You recommended $25?
I did.
She did, yeah.
I did recommend 25.
I wrote something else down. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case on today's agenda, Merlin Gagel Jr. Case number 2023-172, Code Officer Cody McGuire, page 11 of your agenda.
When are you ready?
I gotta be sworn in.
Oh, this your first
It's
time?
okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
I
help
do.
you God. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 2023-00172, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 8411 West Doug Corrigan Lane, Crystal River. Property owner Gagel Merlin Jr. Good service via posting of the property and at the Canto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on June 15th, 2023. Corrective action inspection on August 4th, 2023. And photos of my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, and a copy of the posting affidavit and a photo of the notice of hearing posted on the property in a pre-hearing order.
Since no one's here to object, it'll be admitted without objection. Whenever you're ready.
On June 15th, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed the property being in violation. There was a collapsed structure that was in shambles on the ground. A notice of violation was issued for junkyard conditions, which is a violation of the ordinances listed above. On August 4th, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that the property remained in violation. I have had no contact with anyone as of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023. The property remains in violation.
What is your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assesses a fine of $100 a day along with the administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when a violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Is there a house in the back of this? I see something in the back. Is that the house, and this is just the something on the curtilage, or what was it?
It was a structure at some point that just totally collapsed.
Yeah.
Is there a house on the property?
No.
Oh, what is that? I see something in the first picture in the back. What is that on the back? Is that the neighbor?
That's a neighboring property, yes.
Okay, gotcha. So other than that, it's an empty lot?
Correct.
Almost empty, I guess.
Yeah.
And no contact with the owners?
Unfortunately.
Okay. But, well, I'm gonna go ahead and adopt your recommendation of $100 a day plus administrative cost. I'm gonna give them 90 days to abate.
Thank you.
And adopt the other county's recommendations.
Next cases on today's agenda, Linda Ann and Terry Lee Garrett, case numbers 2023-363 and 2023-383. Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, pages 12 and 13 of your agenda.
Wait a minute, we promised to let you stay here until 5 o'clock. This is a good time to take a break.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do case 363 first and then followed by 383.
Whenever you're ready.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus County Co-Compliance Officer, case number CE 2023-00363. The accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. In case number CE 2023-00383, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-60 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 5859 South Oldfield Avenue, Homosassa, Florida. Property owner is Linda Ann and Terry Lee Garrett. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on July 6, 2023, a corrective action inspection on July 24th, 2023, and photos of my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notices of violation, a copy of the notices of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a copy of the notice of hearing posted on the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Since no one's here to object, we'll admit them without objection. So this, you give me all of them together, right?
Yeah.
Which one's the top one? 63, I got it.
Yeah, 63 is the first one. On July 6, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed fuel drugs, loose trash, boxes, buckets, plastic totes, tires, tools, and other miscellaneous debris throughout the property, as well as an overgrown lawn, with some areas in the backyard having weeds that were several feet tall. On July 7th, 2023, a notice of violation was issued for junkyard conditions and excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, which is a violation of the ordinances listed above. On July 24th, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that some of the junk had been cleaned up. However, the plastic totes, loose trash, and other miscellaneous junk remained on the property. The front yard was mowed, but the backyard was not. I have not had any contact with the property owner as of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023. The property remains in violation.
Your recommendations?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a fine of $100 per day, along with the administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask that the special master additionally to find that it is the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
And that's the same recommendation for both of them?
Yes, sir.
So, did you say you had contact with the owner?
I have not had contact with the owner.
But they did make some progress and mow the front lawn.
They mowed the front yard lawn, but ignored the backyard lawn.
Is the back visible from the front?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and find the violation on both of these. And I'm gonna do $50 a day for each of them with a 60-day abatement period.
Thank you.
Plus the cost, and adopt the other county recommendations.
What do you say? Next case on today's agenda, Nicole Height, case number 2023-431. Code Officer Cody McGuire, page 17 of your agenda.
When are you ready?
Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 2023-00431, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-61 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 8291 West Admiral Byrd Lane, Crystal River. Property owner is Nicole Height. Good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during initial inspection on July 14th, corrective action inspection on August 4th, 2023, and photos of my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, and a copy of the posted affidavit and a photo of the notice of hearing posted on the property in a pre-hearing order.
Since no one's here to object, we'll admit those without objection.
Yes, ma'am. It was a demoed house. Thanks.
Well, it's definitely over 18 inches.
It's almost as tall as I am. Okay. On July 14th, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed the property to be in violation. I have an aerial photo from the property appraiser's office from October 8th, 2022, showing the property has been managed. On July 17th, 2023, a notice of violation was issued for excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, which is a violation of the ordinance listed above. On August 4th, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that the property remained in violation. I've had no contact with the property owner. and as of my final inspection on September 19th, 2023, the property remains in violation.
Okay, what's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assesses a fine of $100 a day along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
Someone's mowing around it. Is
The
it-
county does.
Oh, does it?
That's the rights of way.
Oh, I see. I mean, how much trouble would it be for the county guy to just kind of run over the rest of it and get it over with?
You do for one, you do for all.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a violation here. It's an empty lot, right?
Correct.
Is this the first violation?
Oh, this house has been previously demoed by Code Compliance.
Okay. All right, we'll adopt your recommendation of $100 a day plus administrative costs and all the other county recommendation. We'll do 60 days abatement.
Last case on the agenda, Norman Roger Markham Jr., Harold J. Jackson, and Stephen Darrell Jackson, and Allison Yvonne McKee. Case number 2023-326, Code Officer Cody McGuire, page 19 of your agenda.
All of these are on the deed? 1,
Yes.
2, 3, 4, 5. Probably siblings in a probate or something like that? When are you ready?
Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. Case number 2023-00326, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 6600 West Gulf to Lake Highway, Crystal River. Property owner is Markham Norman Roger Jr., Jackson J. Harold, Jackson Stephen Darrell, McKee Allison Yvonne. Good service via signed certified mail return receipt and posting at the Canto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during initial inspection on July 10th, 2023, corrective action inspection on August 8th, 2023, and photos of my final inspection conducted on September 19th, 2023.
There's no one here to object, so we'll admit them without objection.
Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, and a copy of the posting affidavit and a pre-hearing order. This is the house that's, I'm assuming a barn or. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. It's kind of hard to see this. What is the junk? Is that, what is that in the back?
So there's a garbage can with debris.
That's this?
Yes, sir.
And
That's it almost looks like an older shed that was built out of wood.
yeah. So is that?
Yes, sir.
So that's all. That's what you're talking about.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Did someone complain about that?
There also was a lawn case on it as well, but that abated.
Okay. Okay. Good. So at least someone's aware of something and they're taking care of it.
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right. Whenever you're ready.
On July 10th, 2023, I conducted an initial inspection and observed the property to be in violation. There was a garbage can with no lid and other debris on the ground. A notice of violation was issued for junkyard conditions, which is a violation of the ordinances listed above. On August 8th, 2023, I conducted a corrective action inspection and observed that the property remained in violation. I have had contact with Norman Markham on September 5th, 2023, in which he stated the property was going to be brought back into compliance by the end of the weekend. As of my final inspection on September 19th, the property remains in violation.
Did he make any well, you said he mowed the lawn.
He mowed the lawn.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. What's your recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assesses a fine of $100 a day along with the administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate the violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation. We would also ask the special master additionally find that it's the respondent's responsibility to contact the Code Compliance Division when the violation has been abated in order to allow for reinspection.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot to do here, so I'll adopt your recommendation with $30, 30 days abatement, administrative costs, and all the other counties' recommendation,
What is the fine?
$100 a day.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you all very much. Thank you.